That is one thing that is going to be hard when this campaign comes to an end. It will be getting rid of not being able to hear that video because, man, does that get me pumped up. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Goglings, Gogorifics, and Gog Peoples. Welcome to episode 407 of Pen and Pixels. I am your host, Arvin Elleron. This is the show that focuses on story and narrative in games every Tuesday, starting at either 4 or 4:15 to 7 or 7:15 p.m. Eastern. And we have not one but two tabletop role-playing games going on during the course of the month, and this is Talisman Adventures. It has been a little while since we've played with each other, so I am very glad to be back in the saddle for this as we are moving into the end stage, the end game of this campaign. Before we go any further, just a couple of reminders about ways to support us here on the channel of GogCom's Twitch. If you have not already done so, please follow the channel. That is always appreciated. If you have not already done so, please make sure to subscribe to us here on GogCom's Twitch channel because that helps all of the streamers, gives you those custom sub badges and emotes and things like that to use here, there, and everywhere. And if you have not done so already, please make sure to click through and check out our individual channels because we have our individual subsystems and Patreons and good stuff like that as well. Quick note that we've got Talisman Adventures today. Next week, we will be back with D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and then I'll be returning the week after that to the closing into the last half. I don't know that I'm in the last stage, but in the last half anyway of Tintin Cigars of the Pharaoh. Tintin Reporter, Cigars of the Pharaoh, after which I'll be moving on to Dredge later on in the year. I do want to mention just quickly that 1 week from, and then one other note about schedule, which is tonight, Kilgore Trout will be following me a few hours later, but I will also be back on my own channel at 9 p.m. Eastern playing the Banner Saga 3 with my amazing voice team known as the Arvocalists. So if you want to hear that amazing game, I played Banner Saga 1 and 2, love both of those. 3 with this crew is going to be great, so I hope you will join us for that. Banner Saga 3 feels very appropriate with the cold, snowy, icy weather that we have right here in the northeast of the United States. Also, a quick note that a week from this Friday is my live Dungeons & Dragons event at the Klein Memorial Auditorium, the historic Klein Memorial Auditorium in Bridgeport, Connecticut. This is the sequel to the one that I ran last year at that facility, which was called Night at the Forbidden Library. That's an adventure that I wrote, and I'll be running the sequel, which I also wrote, called Return to the Forbidden Library, a week from this Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. The little mini con of stores and a couple of stores and a couple of places selling books and things like that will be in the lobby beforehand. We're calling that KleinCon. That will open at 5 p.m. Eastern. The event itself will get underway at 6 p.m. Eastern and will run until 9 p.m. Eastern, and it is free to attend. You don't even need a ticket. You just need to show up at the Klein Memorial Auditorium in Bridgeport, Connecticut at 6 p.m. Well, 5 p.m. if you want to do the little mini con thing. So I hope you will consider doing that. For those of you not anywhere near the northeast of the United States, we will also be live streaming it. I'm going to try to stream it on my channel, and it will also be live streamed through the official Klein sources. But we're hoping that you'll be able to check out one or both of those because we really would like to see a good turnout there if we can, so that we can continue doing this in the future. So with all of that said, today we've got Talisman Adventures. So I'm going to unmute myself, let the folks know we are ready to go. And then I'm going to unmute them, and then I'm going to head over to reveal, as I believe it is this one. Yes, I am correct. Haha. That is the right scene. It is indeed the GOG crew with Talisman Adventures. We've returned, also joined very temporarily by my cat. There's one of my cats, Ganesh, who is over there hanging out with us. So it's good to see you, Ganesh. Sherbert was up here before, and you can always tell the difference. If you see an orange flash, that's Sherbert. If you see the black and gray striped one, that's Ganesh. Anyway, they're joining us, and Ganesh seems incredibly excited about what's going to happen. I'm sure that's why he's fallen asleep. And so I will head over to reveal the incredible crew, starting with the amazing Pyron Jade, who is with us. Pyron, it's good to see you. How is life in the universe with you? I see that you have recovered well from the Talisman battle that we took. Saber and I were part of as well last week. Now that you've recovered from that experience, how are you doing, and who are you playing today?
It was wonderful. Thank you again for joining me for my birthday and doing that multiplayer for and with me, and it was just wonderful. And thank you all a lot. So I'm extremely busy currently, but still the kind of busy where after you've been busy, you feel like, okay, I did a thing. And
yeah, productive busy.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the productive busy, and that's really nice. And I'm going to play Regina Augusta III, newly minted gladiator. Usually a warrior pixie, so like very small, can fly, likes to punch people with spears. Oh, cat. Sorry. Ooh.
What?
Yeah, the cat
your
feels,
cat.
the,
It's
yeah,
like,
our cat. Yeah, she feels slighted today because I gave our other cat some attention, and
oh
she's like,
well,
"Oh no, this
listen. I
is
mean,
just not acceptable
yeah,
in
no,
any
no,
way,
definitely not.
in any way at all." So cat is currently being difficult. I really sometimes she unplugs my microphone. If that happens, I apologize in advance.
I see.
Chat people, it's a little bit of story time, so please settle down. Take a cup of tea or whatever your drink of choice is, because there's something else I would like to talk about tonight.
Yes.
Many years ago, I did an interview with Rebecca Heinemann. I think it was about 8 years ago. She is a famous developer and did other and game publisher and did other really cool stuff in the gaming space and all of that. And so when I prepared for that interview, I looked up a lot about Rebecca Heinemann and all of that. It was a lot to look up. But during the interview, she also talked about her family, and she talked about her wife, and she just managed her wife, Janelle, a couple of times very lovingly. And only after the interview, I was like, okay, let's look up Janelle as well. And I found out that Janelle is actually, and if I mispronounce any names in here, this is completely my fault. Everybody knows I'm not really good at pronouncing names from Sephiroth to Flaeos. I'm sorry for this. And is Janelle Jacques. So who is Janelle Jacques? Janelle Jacques is, I would say, a legendary D&D developer, dungeon master, artist, author, publisher. So if you look up what she did like everything. She was a level designer for Quake 2 and 3, in addition to all of that. She, like I said, she had her own video game publishing company. She did cover art for the really old Dungeons and Dragons stuff. And if you see that cover art, you were like, oh,
Yeah.
that cover art. She wrote supplements for D&D that are still extremely useful today today for creating NPCs, for creating in-game events. And she wrote some really seriously legendary adventures. And one that I would mention is Dark Tower.
Yep.
Which is so legendary that some of you might have heard of Dark Tower, which got its name from that. She wrote The Caverns of Thracia. If I mispronounce anything or do any names, I'm doing this from memory, so apologies for that. She created one of the first D&D fan signs that was involved in Dungeons, and there were 2 magazines, Dungeons and Dragons, which were 2, and everything. So if you look up Janelle Jacques, you're gonna find out this woman just seriously did just everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so through following Rebecca and following her on Twitter and following her YouTube, where they did amazing stuff, I also found out about Janelle. And Janelle just passed away last week. And that's sadly the reason that I want to mention her, because she put out a lot of amazing stuff for her hobby. And I think to immortalize such a person is to go there, look it up, use her stuff, make her live on through the hobby that she put so much into, that she gave so much for us, that we can still enjoy, and just let her memory be a blessing. Thank you.
Yeah, that's well said. She also did the conversions for Pac-Man and Donkey Kong for the Coleco home arcade video game systems. This is one of those people that like had been around for long enough that they did a whole bunch of stuff, and like from tabletop into video games and then back again, as Pyron mentioned. But yeah, hugely influential about like sort of one of those like those deep influencers that you don't really know as much about until you realize that like everything like this begat that. And so also did work for the Judges Guild, which none of the folks here are going to know, but the Judges Guild was also a big deal kind of in the early history of D&D. So yeah, I was sorry to see that was Janelle had a very profound influence on the industry. So yeah, so well said, Pyron, and I'm glad Pyron asked if I would give a little bit of time, and I was like, absolutely, because Janelle was obviously very important. So I further the sentiments, thoughts to her family as well. Moving on down the line, Dark Saber, it is good to see you as well, my friend. I hope all is well. Thank you for, again, Moobot and Dashboard as always. And thank you as always for not finishing as many pads as I did in last week's Talisman. No, I'm just kidding. I was completely joking in every way. But no, it was a ton of fun to get a chance to play this. And poor Saber had to fight through technical issues and managed to still do it and maintain his good humor. It's good to see you, Saber. How you doing? How's life in the universe with you? And who are you playing today?
Well, I'm looking forward to playing a version of Talisman that doesn't crash as often.
Yeah, exactly. This is automatically cross-play.
I don't know what it is. It's something about this new computer and Talisman don't get on. Everything else, like I'm playing Cyberpunk for hours, no problem.
Weird.
Talisman, 20 minutes and it clocks out.
That's
Well,
it. Send it back.
Talisman is such an intense, drain compared to Cyberpunk. Wait, what?
Yeah, but I've also been checking out Sinking City because I'm going to be doing the release stream for that tomorrow on GOG.
Yeah, I saw
It's
that.
finally back under the rightful developers' ownership.
That's good.
Because there was, I think all the legal issues are resolved. So if you've been wanting to support the devs and you've been holding off because of the legal issues, this is your time to look into it.
Nice.
And I'm going to be looking at it tomorrow. It's a very fun game. It's the sort of game where you walk into a house, you shoot a small monster, you hear a roar, and a big monster walks out of the basement, and you leave the house.
Yeah.
That's enough Lovecraft for now. I'm going to see what this person's got for me. So, yeah, it's going to be fun tomorrow, definitely. But that's tomorrow. Tonight, I'm going to be back as a Reginald Shoon, who is a ghoul druid who is currently on the docks with a pair of kangaroo legs, I believe it was, having bounded off ahead of everyone without actually finding out why we needed to go to the docks.
Yep.
But for what it's worth, I got there too late from the looks of things anyway. So.
Yeah, that's right. And because of the and had a particular aspect that you were able to use to give you those kangaroo legs to be able to get there in time. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens as we begin with Reginald here in just a bit. But always a pleasure, Saber. Also a pleasure as well to have Peripheral Mike, who is responsible for the video that you just heard, the amazing work there. If anyone watched my Beowulf thing earlier today on my channel, that is also brought to you by the amazing Peripheral Mike with music by Nari. So great stuff as always. Mike, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing okay. How is life in the universe with you? And who are you playing today?
I'm really good, like really, really good. Things are on the up and up at the moment, so I'm very busy, like most people at the minute. It's beginning of the year, so really, really busy. But getting a lot of streams under my belt and really loving it doing it. But yeah, really, really enjoying it. For anybody who isn't aware, I recently rebranded from Peripheral Mike. You can still call me Peripheral Mike. There's absolutely no problem. There's actually a running joke on Inanda's channel where I am the piss artist, formerly known as Peripheral Mike, formerly known as this, formerly known as that, and we just add a name onto it every single time. It's hilarious. But basically, I've rebranded to Wholesome Horror Gaming. I'm really focusing in on that niche, and it's really, really doing wonders for me. So, yeah, if you fancy any cozy games or spooky games or any games in between, you can go and check out twitch.tv/Wholesome Horror Gaming. Sorry, shameless plug. Anyway, so yeah, Talisman. I'm playing Lump, our troll world walking warrior. It's so hard to say those words in the right order. Our troll world walking warrior. There we go. Who is completely lost in the city. He has no idea where he is. All he knows is he had to get somewhere very quickly, so he just ran, both arms, both legs, immediately galloping towards the direction he thought the docks were in, and then suddenly he was lost because people were like, go that way, and go that way, go out, go away, and suddenly he's just God knows where. So I'm interested to see exactly what happens there.
Suddenly he is lost in the city,
Yep.
which I think Stevie Wonder sang about back in the day. So Lost in the City with Lump. That'll be our spin-off buddy comedy, Lump with himself, just being off there somewhere. But always a pleasure to have Mike with us. And last but certainly not least, it is good to see undeveloped Bruce again. And Bruce, I simply want to ask you about your snake, because I believe I was told earlier on, reliably, chat, that apparently snakes live in sheds, and then I discovered that I was wrong in that assumption, and that it was a whole different meaning of shed. So how you doing, Bruce? And as far as snakes are concerned, and who are you playing today?
Yeah, my snake method is all right. She was living in her shed for a bit longer than she needed to because the humidity levels weren't right in her viv, but it's all right, everyone. It's all sorted. She managed to get all the rest of her stuck shed away, and now she's in her hide in her viv in the spare room. not in her shed. And
Chat furiously taking notes. Hide, Viv.
and yeah, hello. I am playing Hwedel Weds Cragman today. He is a dwarven minstrel from the Crags, and he is also relatedly but not similarly lost to Lump in that he also decided to make a run for the docks, and he was going to race Reginald to the docks. Not only did he lose the race, but he lost himself along the way. So yeah, hopefully we can all make it there and find Nozzle, the short elven sailor with white hair and leathery skin, before he sets sail.
It is going to be fun to see how all of that plays out in a little bit. Let us talk, chat, about what happened as I fire up some music. It is not the bubbling pools today. Today we are looking at a little bit of City and the City. I think that seems about right. Also a tremendous book. Okay, in our last session, the party had what they hoped was going to be a nice, pleasant vacation in the city during the course of the festival, a festival which a lot of them had talked about being excited to actually enjoy. It is the Festival of Strangers. The problem is that the thing that they were hoping was going to be more peaceful turned out not to be so much when the entire city was attacked by gargoyles. This was something which was, unexpected. The party managed to fight back the gargoyles, but then, of course, had to ask the question, what the hell is going on? Why are gargoyles attacking people? And they managed to track it down, they think, to someone who had been having bad dreams lately and had been wearing a particular kind of, stop me if you've heard this before, chat, talisman, which, when worn, causes problems when apparently one is dreaming and also wearing said talisman. And so the party made the very reasonable decision that the time that what must happen is to track down the person who has the talisman now. And so they started with Ebba Silverbow, who then suggested that it was given to a gladiator, Leonore. This led to a very amusing, I don't know that we can call it a side moment, but it was where we actually had gladiatorial combats against Leonore involving Regina Lump and company. So that was very entertaining. Followed up by Zeynep, who was a stocky, short, black-haired elf, who told them that Zeynep had given the talisman to Nogus, who was a sailor and had received the talisman at the southeastern wharf. Whereupon, hearing this news, the four intrepid adventurers set off at full speed, not with each other, all running towards, allegedly, the docks. Reginald was the first one to make it there, using the kangaroo legs that he had provided himself, thanks to one of his powers. And Regina not there long after. I'll talk about what happened. I'm going to do this in reverse order, so I'll talk about what happened with Reginald last. In the meantime, both Lump and Hwedel got hopelessly lost, and not with each other, but actually got hopelessly lost going in other directions. So Lump and Hwedel are somewhere in the city as we speak. Regina is just about to get to the docks, and Reginald is sitting on the docks looking out at what may be the at this point, far distant ship that is currently apparently being possessed by the person who has the talisman as far as they can guess. But it seems that this has reached a clear dead end. That means the party still can trace back the opposite direction and try to figure who gave the talisman to Ebba. And of course, the party could also try to do other things like, for example, find each other, gather more information about the gargoyles and magical things of this nature, perhaps talismans. They could also try to deal with the naked wizard that's been sitting in Hwedel's room for multiple weeks at this point. But again, as I said last time, the longer one waits, the bigger a meme that becomes. So I don't know if we really want to go see the wizard or just want to wait until the end when the wizard will have grown to giant size in his non-existence.
Might be wanted for kidnapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do
It's
wonder
only
what's
a
going
few
to happen when it's there.
days.
It's
Only
really
a few days.
yeah, just a few days that stretch to weeks or more than that.
No.
And so I'm going to hand things back over to the party, but I'm going to begin with Reginald, and then we'll work back in the other direction. So Reginald, you are watching Sorry, there we go. You are sitting on the docks watching, in whatever emotional state you want to tell me, as the long-distant boat of Nogus, who apparently last had the Talisman, disappears over the horizon. Reginald, what would you like to do?
Well, the boat doesn't mean anything to Reginald. So all he knows is.
Oh, that's
the
true. You didn't even know
docks.
that. Yeah, that's true.
I just went boom.
Right. So you're sitting on the dock then. Oh, and I'm sorry. One thing I should do is just double check. Weddle, I have you at 32 out of 32 life, 2 out of 8 light fate, and 3 out of 8 spell points. Does that sound right?
Yep, that's what I have too.
Okay. Regina, I have you at 24 out of 30. I have you at, I'm trying to figure why I have you at 7, 7, and 12 of armor.
I usually have an armor of 12, and now currently I only have 7.
Right. You had a 7 and a 7. I don't know why. I wonder if that was like, anyway. Okay. And then you had 2 out of 8 light fate. Right? Okay. Lump, I had you at 30 out of 30 life.
Yep.
Oh, I think it was maybe temporary points, which are now gone. I think that's why. So, because you also had 3 out of 10 out of 12. So I think I have you at, are you at 3 out of 12 or 10 out of 12, Lump, armor-wise?
I thought it was 10 out of 12.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
I think that's probably right. I think the 3 was a temporary thing, which is now passed. You also have 3 out of 3 additional armor for your Myrmidon helmet.
Yep.
And you have 1 out of 7 light fate.
Yep.
Is what I have you for. Last but certainly not least, Reginald, I have you at 25 out of 25 life, 2 out of 2 life for the cloak, 3 out of 3 armor, and then the wand, which has some indeterminate number of charges to recharge the armor, I think.
Yeah.
And then 2 out of 8 light fate, I believe is what we have. Okay, lovely. Okay, so as we were saying, so yeah, you're just sitting on the dock then, sitting on the dock of the bay.
Yeah, just
wasting
leaning
time.
back on my kangaroo tail,
As
sort
Otis
of
Redding
like looking for the dire emergency that hasn't yet materialized.
It seems like a dock. You know, there's like people walking by, a couple of sailors barking orders at each other while they clean the deck of a ship. And pretty much that's it. And Regina then I think would come buzzing in just minute or two later. And you see Reginald sitting on the dock, sort of calmly observing the scene.
I overtake him, turn back, look at him. You look different. Kind of.
I washed my hair.
Oh, okay.
It smelled. People said.
Oh, well, that's very unkind of people.
Still like.
So,
How long do those legs last, by the way?
1 hour.
Okay. Got it.
1 hour from however long this run over the city's been.
Okay.
so what do we do next? We're here. I'm second.
I don't know. I thought there was an emergency, but it's all quiet.
Didn't we look for somebody?
I don't know. All I heard was the docks.
Yeah.
I look. I was going to say I look over Regina's shoulder. It depends on where Regina's currently hovering, I guess.
Well, I was just like, I would fly to your front to talk to you.
It just seems funny that I'd lead him away slightly.
Okay.
Uh,
So, we could make an emergency.
Did you not know why we were coming here?
We are looking for the talisman.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for the talisman, and it is here at the docks with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Weddle knows.
Just lean and look down the street
Maybe
again.
we should find Weddle.
Cut to Weddle. I'll cut to Weddle in a minute.
We could also wait for the emergency to happen, then we would know what the talisman is.
Might be better to wait here until they catch up with us.
Okay. I'm good at waiting.
And we're ready for an emergency. So, yeah, just gonna...
Okay, so they are waiting. So in the meantime, let's talk about Weddle. So Weddle kind of zigged when he should have zagged, and kind of, there were a bunch of those. There were a bunch of those moments that happened, and so Weddle, you are sort of zooming around the streets, and at a certain point, it's very clear to you that there are no docks forthcoming. You are nowhere near the docks right now. And you find yourself in kind of a smaller, narrower alley when you hear a very distinctive of something you've stepped in. And you hear from a distance what sounds like a familiar voice at first, and it says, "You might want to step off of that. I was about to clean it." Sounds a lot like Reginald.
Reginald?
And you turn around to see that it is indeed not Reginald, although it is a tall, gaunt ghoul. So that the ghoul part definitely is Reginald-like. But you see that the ghoul has a long-handled, what looks like a shovel, basically. And on the edge of it is, or I should say on the scoop right now of it, is this pile of something which smells quite foul. And she is standing next to a wagon filled with even more foul, stench-smelling stuff. And she says, "You seem to have gone the wrong way into the dung I was supposed to be sweeping." And she takes her shovel, puts it on the wagon.
Yeah, thank you for drawing my attention to that. I had not noticed at all. I was in a bit of a rush. Don't suppose you've seen another ghoul running really fast with kangaroo legs? Don't know if you know what a kangaroo is. It's like if you imagine like a hare, but a lot bigger, like a really big hare. Like a ghoul running with really big hare legs.
Hairy, like hair on the head.
Oh no, like big rabbits,
Oh.
hare.
Oh, no, I haven't seen a ghoul with rabbit legs. And
No.
and you sort of like, she kind of like closes her eyes, or narrows her eyes slightly, and looks at you and says, "Well," and she kind of pauses and then says, "My name's Bergrim. I'm the chief dung sweeper, and technically you're in violation of city law by standing on my crap."
Oh, you're the dung sweeper. Goodness gracious me. Goodness,
Yes.
God, I know a song about that. I should give you gifts of gold and flesh. Oh God, I haven't got any gold on me.
It's not a problem. I'm not the guard. You just might want to step off that spot and maybe clean your boots. It's rather foul.
Oh yeah, thank you. He steps back, kicks it off. Don't suppose you've seen a wooden necklace around anywhere either?
A wooden necklace?
Yeah.
Not recently. What does it look like besides being wooden?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question, and I haven't actually seen it myself.
She stares at you, not blinking.
God, you remind me of my friend. He's called Reginald Choon.
And now, when you say Reginald Choon, she says, "Reginald Choon from the graveyard?"
From the graveyard, yeah, with hair legs.
Maybe the greatest graveyard keeper of all time. A legend in the city. Why did someone give him legs of a rabbit?
Oh, he gave them to himself. Only for a bit though. We'll get his old legs back. You know how he is. So you're a mate of his too, then?
How he is? He's a legend. What?
You're good friends?
No, I have actually never met him directly. I have only heard of him as a legend. He was partly what inspired me to take up this job. I figured if a ghoul could become a legend at taking care of the dead, I could become a legend at taking care of the dung.
Well, dung sweeping is a very important job. Like, not a lot of people know that, but I appreciate it. I think it's a very important job.
Thank you. And she
Reginald,
like
I know
digs
where
up the dung.
Reginald. You're doing great, by the way. I can see how you're really working towards that legendary status. Yeah, my mate Reginald, he was heading towards the docks. Don't suppose you know where. Like, you can come with if you want. Like, I don't want to disturb your shift or anything, but if you wanted to meet him, he was going towards the docks. I got no idea where the docks are, so if you wanted to, like, show me the way to the docks, I'll show you. I'll be like, oh, that one's Reginald. You get to meet him.
That sounds good. Go ahead and follow. And she puts the shovel like up, standing up in the pile of dung in the wagon. And then she picks up. Now the wagon is a pretty big wagon that's sort of chock full of dung, Weddle, but with no problem, Bergrim just picks up the handles and just starts trundling off down the alleyway in the other direction. Not like racing, but just steady.
All right, Weddle's gonna follow, and just based on what he knows of Reginald, is going to like try and talk like the least possible for himself. Like, he doesn't want to get on Bergrim's nerves by talking a lot, because that's something maybe that Reginald's, not always amused at, is Weddle's constant nattering away all through the day and night. He's going to do his best. As you can tell, he's not very good at not talking. So he's probably going to talk the entire way. And say, oh yeah, so we were turned into wooden dolls, or I was anyway, because I licked this coin. Anyway, we had to chuck him in like this volcano. It was amazing. There was a temple. It just like goes and tells Bergrim all of the adventures that we've had so far.
Bergrim's a great listening companion. Bergrim actually says nothing at all, just sort of trundles along, listening, never stopping or interrupting. And after about not very long, actually, Weddle, maybe 5-6 minutes or so, you sort of round one. You notice as you go, by the way, that there are several people who are sort of standing there. A couple times you think you see what might be sort of like maybe like ne'er-do-wells or thieves or something with their hands on their knives, but the minute they see that Bergrim with the wagon, they just melt out of the way, like just vanish into the shadows, like no one wants to stand in front. A couple times there's a guard who's going to step up and like hail or accost you, but then they also sort of step aside when they see the wagon. This thing apparently is a ticket through everything. And when you get to the docks, Bergrim sort of kind of brings this to a halt and says, kind of looks around and then looks down one end of it and says, I see another ghoul. Is that your friend? Is that Reginald, the legendary gravekeeper?
Is it Reginald?
And his pet bug. Because he sees Regina sorting around like basically like this.
This
is a good distance, Regina. You can't hear that yet.
He's actually got a pet dog that's called Boots. That's not unlike a pet bug. Also, only saying this because Regina is out of earshot. Then he's going to call, "Oi, Reginald, over here! Got a legendary dung sweeper, even. Gotta meet Bergrim."
Thank you for saying that.
So as they catch up, like Reginald's currently trying to bounce as high as he can in the air, just to see if he can get enough distance to see anything that's going on the docks. Boing. Boing.
so there's just this ghoularoo like leaping up off of the legs.
Yeah, see,
kangaroo
hair legs, like kangaroo. That's what I meant.
That's not what I imagined he would look like. So you see Reginald and Regina, you see trundling over, you see first of all Weddle, who seems, very, very pleased with himself as usual. And then, right next behind is this long, sort of gaunt gray ghoul carrying a wagon that is filled with a substance that you're pretty confident is not mud. And sort of comes over, and the stench sort of proceeds. Like you smell this before you see the details, and they put it down, and then and so Regina, you and Reginald can now see Weddle and this ghoul with a wagon.
Yes.
And they just
Sorry.
they
It's
sort of
another ghoul.
and Bergrim says, I found your friend here stepping in some of my dung. So your friend said he could lead me if I led him to the docks. He would introduce me to the greatest ghoul of the city. So, hello, Reginald. My name is Bergrim. You're an inspiration.
Hello, Bergrim. Nice to meet you.
This is a big moment for me.
I can tell.
I wondered if maybe you could sign my crap.
Sign my shovel. Sign my shovel, please. Because graveyard keepers.
I was like,
also
what is he going to
shovels.
write with this sign of the crap?
I'll sign a shovel. I'll go with that.
Yeah. So that's that. The shovel's better than what I was imagining you were doing with a shovel with the crap. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Would you mind signing my shovel?
It would be an honor. I don't think I've got. How do you sign a shovel?
They actually. So she, Bergrim provides you a suspicious-looking pencil, which is some kind of brown, but you're not sure what, and you're not really clear how that all works. And says, "This should work out all right."
Yeah, I'm
I
not
offer
going to sniff
Reginald-
it.
I offer Reginald one of my spears. You could carve it in.
I'll go with what Bertram wants. Bergrim. I knew I was going to do that.
I'm offended. No, she says, Bergrim. She says, and so once you do that, just thank you. I would say that I would never wash this again, but I wasn't going to anyway. And then puts it back in the pile and says, I don't mean to be forward, but why do you have kangaroo legs?
Needed to get to the dock in a hurry.
Oh,
It's a druid ritual.
I see. It's very impressive. Do you use that to get to the top of graves to dust them?
Hadn't thought about that, but that's not a bad idea.
And as this pleasant scene unfolds, Regina, are you and Huedel doing anything other than just admiringly looking at the two ghouls' interactions?
I just need to get over the image of the kangaroo ghoul jumping around the graveyard on top of the crypts to dust. Okay, I move over to Huedel. I know we need to find somebody. Is she the somebody?
Oh, right. Crap. Crap's on my shoes. Right.
yes. Looks
Hello,
around.
everyone. We are looking for a short elven sailor with white hair and leathery skin called
Called I think it's
Norzil, not Norval,
Give me a second. Nojus.
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 Called,
Just.
No, just what?
Nojus.
Nojus here. And so Bergrim says, oh, I've heard of Nojus. He's a sailor. I happened to see him the other day when he was walking past. Nice one, gave me a tip of a coin. Said he wouldn't be here long. Was taking off on a ship. But I don't know if any ships have left yet.
There was one out on the horizon when we arrived.
That's it then. I guess he's gone forever.
Mm.
Don't sailors come back? Like
Yeah.
never?
That's a good idea. Perhaps if you wait here, 6 months from now he may return.
Okay.
Regina,
Yes,
can you slap me?
I can. Where?
Just on the face.
I slap Reginald on the face carefully.
Okay.
I blink and look around. Are we after a ship that just sailed out to harbor still?
I don't know. What?
Have we lost the talisman?
I don't
Well,
know.
I think we need to find some sort of harbor master organization person who knows who's on what ships that have leaving when, and then we'll know for sure. Because, I mean, if he did leave on a boat, on the one hand, the talisman's off there and we kind of need to get it back. We might need to go and have our own ship adventure. Or two, it's not our problem anymore. So, we should probably find out.
Also find out where Lump is.
Yeah, where is Lump?
That's a very good question.
Cut to Lump. We're going to talk about the harbor master with the three of you in a minute. Lump, after careening through the streets with everyone getting out of your way because you're a troll, you have found yourself in a dark portion of the city. It is not a lot of sort of, a lot of buildings that sort of loom overhead. The alleyways are narrow. That's what I meant to say. Arrows and alleys means narrow. The alleyways are narrow here. And you find yourself just sort of kind of on your own, alone in the street. And it's become clear to you after a little while that you are decidedly and definitely not near the docks in any sense. And so you eventually just kind of slowed to a halt, Lump.
I don't think the docks are this way. Is there anybody around me?
Not at the moment.
Are there any doors I could knock on?
There are no doors here, although there might have been in the street that you just came from. You were everything was sort of a blur.
So I'm in an alleyway, presumably between two streets.
That's right.
Okay. I'll move myself to the next street and see if there's any like shops or taverns or anything like that where I can ask directions.
Okay. When you get to the street, just as you're about to turn onto the street, you hear a quiet voice, and it says, "You seem to be away from your usual path, Dunmar Night Fury."
Lump freezes and goes, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Do I know where that voice is coming from?
It is coming, you think, from behind you, but it just, like, there was no, hey, this is what I'm like, it just all of a sudden was like, hello. Like, it's like right on top of you.
Lump immediately tries to spin around on the spot.
So as you spin, a blade is in the side of your neck, like not in it, but like right next to it, and says, I wouldn't try it, Dunmar. I know your reputation, and your time has caught up with you, it seems. If you move faster, this blade will pierce your throat.
Do I recognize this person?
You do not recognize the voice, but as you said, you recognize the name.
Are they wearing like a hood, or can I take in their facial features?
Right now, they are right behind you still. So you started to turn.
Oh, they are right behind me. Okay.
Right. And then they said, so you could you could certainly talk to them like, can I turn around or whatever. But right now you just stopped with the blade. Because literally if you kept turning, you would just like, you know.
So what is it that an agent of Tharnak wants with me now?
You had attracted a lot of attention for yourself since you've been gone. And whether you thought that you were going to escape in the end, you've done nothing but fall afoul of talismans. My employer is not happy that you've decided to leave them out of the loop. And so I have come to collect on your promise. You're searching for a talisman again. He wants you to bring it to him. Or wait and watch as your friends are cut down in the streets one by one, and then you.
As he's got his hands out, Lump just slowly making two fists.
Yep.
And he slowly starts to turn around to face this person.
So as you do that, the voice says, "You wish to see my face. I am but a messenger. You need to worry about who is writing the message. This is the only warning you will receive. If you do not take the talisman to my employer, and you know who it is, then he will cut you down, your friends, and maybe the rest of this city, just for the fun of it. You're a strong troll, Dunmar, but you're not very good at hiding. But I am." And when you turn around this time, Lump, nothing. Nothing in the street behind you, the alleyway, or anything else.
Lump punches the wall next to him, probably loosening a couple of bricks.
Yeah.
I was worried this would happen. Why go to this city? Then he starts to make his way to the next street like he was going
Okay.
to.
And, you know, on the street, you have that little experience where you walk out and there's a bunch of people like, "Hello," you know, like sort of like, "Hi, how are you?" You're like, you are directed back to the docks with fair ease. In fact, Lump, if you had just kept riding around, like careening around, you probably would have stumbled into the docks without realizing it, you know, just within a few minutes. But it actually is only about a maybe 3 to 4 minute walk down this main street, which is known as the Wharves Street. And down there at the end of it is where the wharf would actually be found.
So have I actually found the wharf now?
Yeah. So assuming you're just going to do that, then yes,
Yep.
within a few
Yep.
minutes, you would find, and what you, what you find there are, let's see, you find Regina buzzing around, looking happy to see you.
A Goularoo.
Reginald with kangaroo legs, bouncing up and down next to another taller ghoul in front of a wagon of what clearly does not seem like just mud, and Hweddle, who is occasionally looking out to the water and then looking back at all of his companions here. And also, you can also see a little bit in the distance, there is what looks like a sort of a important looking dwarf, I guess I would say, walking towards you, probably a good minute away still, but like is walking clearly in your direction on the docks, like from a ship in your direction. May just be like heading towards the exit to the district as far as you know, but like there's definitely a dwarf there. Otherwise, there's just a number of people passing around, you know, here and there, but those are the ones you actually see.
Hello. Found my way to the docks.
Oh, love! What's up?
What's
This
that
guy?
smell?
Oh, it's this cart. We made a new friend.
Ooh. Ooh, that's a big smell. Ooh. Did we get the talisman?
No,
We're working on that.
No.
Is that I'll should we go and talk to this dwarf and see? Basically, we got you, and we got no idea where this nodule. Nogus, thank you. We got no idea where this Nogus guy is.
Noodle.
He might have already left, or he might still be here. So we need to find out.
but on the bright side, there was no emergency.
Also, my name is Bergrim. I'm the chief dung sweeper, and recently had my shovel signed by Reginald. Pleased to meet you.
Hello, fellow flesh ghost.
And at this point, the dwarf has walked up, and is sort of like looking you all up and down as if to be like, because the combination of, you know, even for the city, this is maybe somewhat more unusual sitting than what one might normally see. You could. So it just sort of stops and is just looking at you for a moment. The four of you.
Hello there. I'm Chwedl. I'm from up the crags. I was just looking for a elf called Nogus. And I'm a bit afraid that I might have missed him and he was on that boat that just left. Do you happen to know if he's around?
And he sort of looks you up and down, and then says, "Oh, there it is." I was like trying to find the devil of the name of this person, and says, "Hey, are you talking about the dancing dolphin there?"
Probably.
That's the only one I know that Noja serves on. Well, if you're looking for that, you've missed it. It'll be back in about 4 months, though.
Oh dear. Right. Have you got a wooden necklace on?
Have I got a what? And he looks down and is like, what are you talking about? Also, why is there some crap on my streets? Bergrim, and sees, and Bergrim's like, hello, Unger. Yeah, hello, Bergrim. Look, you're supposed to take that stuff away from the wharf. You don't bring it to the wharf. And, Bergrim says, well, I had an opportunity to meet a very important influence. And Unger says, that's good to hear. Look, and says to all of you, I don't know why you'd want to find Nogus anyway. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him, but he's just a sailor. What'd you need him for?
He had this wooden necklace that we're looking for. We were hoping to get it off him.
Can't just buy one.
Oh no, it's a very special one that we definitely need that specific one. Sentimental value, you know. Yeah, but it's been doing the rounds, you know. People have been trading it round, you know, what the festival's like. Yeah.
So if Nogus is now on the boat,
Yeah.
he has to have been somewhere before. So maybe we could ask the people where Nogus has stayed if he left with the necklace. And if he left with the necklace, we can also look on the bright side, because then the necklace is contained to the boat.
No problem.
You know?
Right.
So we could
good
check
point.
whether he left with a necklace. And if he left with a necklace, it's, I don't know, party
And
time.
so Bergrim says, wait, this necklace, what did it look like?
Did we get a description?
Yeah, I'm wondering if any of us actually know what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Sort of a basic description of,
Like
yeah.
a triangle.
And it says, Bergrim says, that's what I thought. One of my crew had on a wooden necklace like that for the Festival of Strangers. His name is Emil. He was working on Market Street, I think. He right now shouldn't be too far. I was supposed to be relieving him once I picked up his crap.
All right, lovely. See, it all comes together. It all works out.
Well, wherever it's going to work out, don't take this the wrong way, but if you wouldn't mind taking all of yourselves away from, especially the wagon. Bergrim, really, is there a problem? I just get the wagon away. It's not like it's bad smelling enough down here. And this, I should say that this dwarf, by the way, is like wearing a very sort of like, neat, kind of almost polished uniform. Is fairly tall for a dwarf, barrel chested and all that stuff. And says, all right, well, if the dancing dolphin randomly comes back, I'll make sure to have someone send out the word if you want to leave your names with me. But otherwise, I'm afraid you're out of luck here.
He didn't mention he was a handsome, tall dwarf fellow. Quaddle most certainly will leave his name with this fellow.
Yes, and he takes that and he's like, well, thank you. I'll make sure to respond as soon as I can, Weddle. And he sort of like kind of glances at you and nods, and he says, right, well, and he turns around, and as he's leaving, you notice someone coming up and whispering to him. And he sort of looks at a man dressed in sort of like finery, like red finery. And Unger sort of looks at him and then says, no, and it's the same answer that I gave last week. You tell him to pay right or don't pay at all. And he marches off, and the guy just sort of stares at him and then goes off in another direction. And Bergrim says, Unger Grey Heron there, the harbor master, has been arguing with the city over what to pay the dock hands. They don't pay enough. He thinks they should pay them more. I think he'll get what he wants because he yells really loudly when he wants to. You see Unger marching off down the docks, barking orders at some of the dock hands.
So he's an advocate for fair pay for the workers of the docks, you're saying?
He's always been that way, even when the city got mad. He was the way, that's why I try to emulate his example, the way that I treat my crew. And Bergrim turns to you, Reginald, and says, that's only because I didn't know that you had a crew, or I would have been inspired by you.
The crew's a bit of a bit of a recent development.
I see. So, you folks are headed off in the direction of Market Street. Is that what I understood correctly? To try to find, I just want to make sure that I heard what you said correctly, which is you're going to find this guy a meal. If you're going to do that, then you do in fact, without too much difficulty, fortunately for a change. Go ahead, Regina. What you're going to say?
I still think we should try to find out where Nojis was staying.
Ah, yes, that's right.
At last, before leaving, because that seems like where people would know what he was like wearing when he left and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also an advocate for getting what you want by screaming loudly.
So should we ask around here to see if anybody knows where Nojis was staying?
Can the dwarf tell us where Nojis was staying? What was the dwarf's name?
Unger.
Unger Grey Heron is his name.
Hunger?
Unger, so Unger.
Unger.
Yeah.
Those eyebrows, Bruce.
Unger cats.
Unger Grey Heron. Yeah, Unger cats. Oh.
Waddle, maybe you could ask Unger Grey Herring where Nojis was staying.
Oh, well, if you insist that I go and talk to Unger again, I guess so. Yeah.
Are you going to add him to your collection in that room?
We don't talk about the wizard locked in my bedroom,
wow.
Okay? Don't tell Unger about him. He'll misunderstand. Quazzle just rushes off after Unger. Oh, sorry, just one more thing, Mr. Grey Heron. We were just wondering, is there anywhere that Nojis would have, hung around, a particular inn he stayed at while he was staying in the city, or
where
he used to drink?
He was, as far as where he used to drink, I don't know that. But as far as where he was staying, absolutely. And he points out at the water. The Dancing Dolphin, every night. We always try to have the sailors stay there. Otherwise, it gets confusing, and it's hard to keep track of whose tab is whose at the taverns and the inns,
So he was staying on his own ship?
Yeah, as far as I know.
All right. Where do you stay?
I've got, of course, my own place. Why are you asking?
I'm just curious. I like to know about, how all the different dwarves live in different places. I've got a friend who's a scholar, who lives I'm just staying with him a little bit at the moment. If you actually, no, you don't need to know where he is. So, I'm always curious to see, how people live, what coming from the crags is a very different life to what is led here in the city. And you're clearly a very accomplished man. You
Oh,
don't have to tell me anything. Don't worry.
well, I appreciate it. Well, it's just, rather unexpected, I suppose. And you notice now he's wearing this red uniform outfit, and you notice that his face is gradually growing about as red as the outfit, and he's, right, well, and then he randomly like turns and yells at a doc, "Why don't you coil up that rope?" Now the rope is already perfectly coiled. He's like, and the dock worker looks at him confused, like, "Don't give me that look, coil it again." And so the guy starts coiling it again. He's like, right, well, I just down the way, I have my home is down the way there, and right. Okay, well, anyway, you should be off with your friends, and and he sort of trails off as he starts wandering away, but occasionally like looks over his shoulder,
Yeah.
and every so often he just like randomly screams at a dock worker who like practically falls over as he's going by.
Right. Huddle's like, I'll see you again, Unga.
Yep. What? Get out of that barrel! He yells at someone else.
I go back to the group, and I'm just like, yeah, he lives just down the way down there. Oh,
Nice.
Nogus. Nogus. Sorry. Nogus. Oh yeah, he was staying on his ship. Sorry, I lost track of the. Anyway, Queddle's overcome with the urge to shout at a dock worker, but he doesn't do it. I think that Emil the dung sweeper is our best lead at the moment, and maybe we should Market Street this way, is it? And he starts walking like in a not the Market Street direction.
Mm-hmm.
Regina follows.
Okay.
Can I bounce past and then take a turn towards Market Street after I've overtaken?
You could do that for sure. So you bounce over them once and then bounce in what is actually the direction of Market Street. Lump, what about you?
Oh yeah, I follow.
Okay. So assuming that Hweddle and Regina correct course to follow Reginald, you not too long find yourself on Market Street, where you may remember that's part of where some of the battle went down a night or two ago when you first dealt with the gargoyles, was actually on Market Street. And you're lucky in that when you arrive, there is someone, a couple of people, but one in particular is the only human dung sweeper that you can see, who is working as he goes along the street. And as you're doing this, as I completely forgot her name, Bulgrim, I think is what I said, Bergrim. Bergrim sort of calls out and says, "Emil," and Emil kind of, who's this sort of like very average-looking, brown-haired human with a soiled tunic and breeches, kind of looks over and sees, and then comes over and says, "Yeah, boss, what's up?" And Bergrim says, "These people have a question for you." And he kind of looks at all of you.
Weddle's daydreaming.
He wanders off, not having been given any information.
Regina
Do
takes
you-
that as a
Do you have a small necklace that you picked up somewhere?
A small necklace. I don't. Oh, yeah, during the festival. Oh, but I gave that away. I gave that to Ebba actually. But yeah, I that was. I don't even remember what I traded it to Ebba for actually.
Where did you get it from?
Where did I get it from? Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Where did you get it from?
that was now. Hweddle probably recognizes this the most because Emil immediately turns also equally bright red as Unger was doing just a few minutes before. And he says, well, there was a, it was a human at, she's a dancer. And then Bergrim says, "You should probably stop babbling." And he's like, sorry, boss.
You've gone red.
Yeah.
You might have a disease. Would you like me to check you?
By this point, several of the other workers are looking over in his direction, and Mill seems to be attempting to melt into the cobblestone street.
Bob just gets his first aid kit out with his tiny needle and thread.
And he sort of looks like horrified at the needle and sort of takes a few steps back.
Are you injured?
And you notice
If you
now
have a
that he's
heart-
flushed pale
If you
instead
have
of
a
red.
heart attack, can you answer our questions quickly, please?
Yeah, no, and he kind of lowers his voice. He says, it's little, I mean, this person's very special, and I didn't want to, let everybody know.
Let everybody know what?
Okay, well, so it was this, her name's Elena, and
Elena.
she's beautiful.
Okay.
She's wearing a yellow dress, and she met me at a temple service. And she sells flowers, and she's usually down the street on Market Street. But if people find out, then she's gonna think I'm talking about her behind her back in whispers, and that's what I'm doing. And then like sort of
She gave you the triangle necklace.
yeah. But that's okay, right? I mean, it's just a necklace.
What you do with your human is completely your thing.
He kind of pauses and looks around, and Bergram says, "You can go, Emil." And he says, "Thanks, boss." And he kind of like hurries off, like looking over his shoulder a couple times.
You ever get the feeling we're just always one step behind in this?
I used to like this festival.
But I mean,
I don't know, we're working backwards now, right? Now we know that Elena had it, gave it to Emil, gave it to Ebba, gave it to Bob, gave it to Leonor, gave it to Nogus, and now it's gone away on this ship.
yeah.
So what do we want to do? We either got to like keep looking backwards into the origins of the necklace, hoping that that'll lead us full circle, or we steal a ship and go after the dancing unicorn horse, whatever that ship was called.
I like that idea.
I can't sail a ship. We've seen it. We've been on the river, and they used the ship, and it looked quite complicated. I'll be very honest with you.
Also, the water was full of crocodiles.
That as well.
Yeah, and I turned into a wooden doll.
Yeah.
So I don't remember anything. I wasn't even watching.
So clearly water is pretty cursed.
Yeah.
That water's massive. There's going to be much bigger crocodiles in there.
Yeah. And maybe maybe more wooden dwarfs even.
I think it might be time to talk to the wizard in my bedroom.
Is that a euphemism?
It's been a while since I've heard that sentence.
It's such a good sentence, though.
Bergram says, Why do you have a wizard in your bedroom?
Oh God, you're still here.
Else to put it.
Hello, Bergram.
Bergram is giving you this look like it's very hard to tell facial expressions, but Bergram's like with that. But Bergram's like,
well, I was keeping him safe.
From what?
Staying in your bedroom.
Well, I locked him in there before I left, and I've been gone a couple of days now.
Locked the wizard in your bedroom.
He was very drunk.
Yeah, and I left him some alcohol so he won't go through withdrawal. You know, I left him a bottle of wine, so he'll be fine.
I think we also left him a bathtub or something.
No, we forced him into the bath before we forced him into the bedroom and locked him in there.
But we didn't do anything to his teeth, right? That was something different.
No, we didn't do his teeth.
So at this point, Bergram
somebody else.
Bergram is backed up about 15 steps at this point, and Bergram's like, I'm a little troubled, Reginald. This doesn't seem to fit the legend that you possess.
I don't know them.
He's
That is not his legend. That is our legend, like Huddle and mine.
So you're saying there's a drunk, naked wizard in a bathtub
Nobody said
in
about
your
it.
room?
In my
Right now.
defense, I was distracted reading a scroll at the time.
I'd like to say he's no longer in the bathtub. He's just naked.
Also, we are honorable gladiators.
Also, no kink shaming.
Bergam starts doing the Homer Simpson, sort of like gradually sinking away and says, it was a pleasure. I need to go clean some dung.
Okay, bye.
They say
Bye.
never meet your heroes.
Bye. And then turns around and like trundles off with the wagon.
Lump looks at the rest of the party. If we get any more ghouls, can we start putting bells on them? You're very quiet, people.
Everyone else is too noisy.
Well, we need to be careful what we say in front of other ghouls, like admitting we have drunken naked wizards locked up in our bedroom.
I don't have a drunken naked wizard locked up in my bedroom.
No
So
one, I only just
technically
knew
my
you were there.
bedroom.
I don't have a bedroom.
I'm
it's
not
not even my
responsible
bed-
for you.
It's my friend's bedroom, actually, where I'm just borrowing it for the
Yeah,
purpose
that-
of
that
In
as
looking
well.
fairness, that
wizards.
would have sounded worse.
Anyway, what I mean is that
Really hard to
At this
maintain no
point-
emotion right now.
we don't have any way to track this talisman, to find out where it's going, or to know, what on earth's going on.
We also know this isn't my nightmare. Because Regina slapped me, and I didn't wake up.
Oh, Regina slapped me because I'm starting to feel like this is my nightmare.
But I never slap you people to wake you up. How does this make sense?
Oh,
It's not
Reginald
like I go
slapped
around
me.
in the morning like slap, 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 everybody wake up.
I'll gently slap Huddle.
Nope, it's not my nightmare.
Not hard. It's quick slapping. Bang!
I think we can still get a very important piece of information. Because Huedel said that the talisman was made by the dwarfs. So, if we find out where the talisman was originally from, we can find out the dwarf who started it.
So follow the trail backwards.
Cannot follow it forward.
It's
So why not
out to
backward?
sea. Yeah.
All right, we will find Elena, the dancer in a yellow dress who sells flowers.
At the temple.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if I'm welcome at temples now.
We haven't
Why
done
would
anything
you not be?
especially blasphemous recently, have we?
No.
Not this campaign, no.
It's hard to remember which temples you've wronged in which dimensions sometimes.
I haven't.
Yeah, no, the only thing I can think of is licking holy artifacts. That's about all I can think of. Other than that, you're golden.
I think we did fine. Okay, temple district.
Okay.
All right.
We're walking along and Lump is just like, wait, is this where the captain is? He's like completely confused about where we're going and why we're going there in the minute.
While we're going, I'll cancel my animal features at this point, so just
Okay.
back
sounds
to
good.
normal length. Then I go to lean back on my tail and nearly fall over.
I got so used to it.
You would, let's be honest.
Chat, you are watching the extremely funny and fun GOG crew with Talisman Adventures. I'm joined by Pyron J, Darksaber2K, Peripheral Mike, also known as Wholesome Horror Gaming owner now, and of course Undeveloped Bruce. And if you are enjoying this, I hope you will follow the channel, sub to the channel here on GOG.com, and check out all of these lovely, wonderful individuals who are a lot of fun. Okay, so you're making your way through. You're making your way. I just almost start saying making your way downtown, going fast.
Making your
as
way
fast.
downtown.
Exactly. Test and I'm homebound. Anyway, you're making your way towards the temple district, and outside the temple, you can actually see that there is a fair bit of commotion. There seems to be an argument going on around the sort of steps leading up to the city's temple. Now, the temple is always a pretty busy place. There's always lots of like people coming in and asking for things, and bringing in ghost dogs, for example, Reginald. I mean, there's always stuff happening with the temple. But this seems to be even more sort of that, and there seems to be a kind of angry tenor to the sound of the voice, and you hear a lot of shouts, and there are some guards standing in front of a group of people who are sort of pushing forward and then being pushed back by the guards, and seem to be yelling angrily at the steps of the temple, or at the temple or something, but seems to be yelling at the temple somehow. And the mood does indeed sound kind of ugly. On one side, or like next to the steps, there is indeed a woman in a yellow dress who is looking very nervously at but they're not yelling at her, they're yelling at the temple itself.
There. That could be the human.
That one. We'll take that one. Thank you.
Yeah. Let 'em go in, pick her up.
Yeah.
Off we go.
Yeah, you know what we want. That's right. Tell us what you know. You know that it's your responsibility. You set those things on the city. Well, we don't know any details. Yeah, we do know details. All of you back off. And you can see there's like a guard captain type who's sort of like, you know this got nothing to do with the temple. Now back off and go home. Oh, you shut it. You're one of them too, serving them. That's right. And you hear this, and you hear sort of people like pushing forward. The guards currently have control, but not by much.
Yeah, Quaddles definitely wants to go and see what's going on. He's going to go into the middle of all the protesters and be like, What's going on? What are we doing? What are we fighting for? I'm ready.
It's that temple. A temple has sent all those gargoyles to kill us, and now they won't admit it. And they say that we weren't allowed in unless we got regular requests. Well, my regular request is for them to get those creatures away, or before we tear this building to the ground. That's what I say.
Oh, right, yeah. So it was the temple. What did it? God.
Yeah,
gosh,
people in the temple.
Darn.
Can't trust them.
Oh, how do we know that though? Who did someone see him?
Who else does magic in this city?
Me.
How loudly do you
Wizards.
say that, Reginald?
Wizards.
Loud enough. Assuming I'm near them, then loud enough to be heard. So it would have been to cut through.
A few of them are sort of like turn around, and the yelling sort of dies down a little bit, and one of them says, "You. Are you responsible? You set those things on us?"
Quaddle turns with the crowd against Reginald.
Pitchfork in hand.
I fly to station myself next to Reginald just in case there's going to be
I
some
fought
fun.
to defend the people from the gargoyle attack last night. Led many to safety.
Oh, he's right. I saw him. He's the one who tends the graveyard. He is. Oh, he helped my mum. And she would have been taken over, and he brought her under this roof. And the other one's like, oh, yeah, and just kind of murmuring, and then they say, well, we're grateful that you helped us, but you don't need to protect these sods. These are the ones who did it. You can't trust them. A temple always wants money from people, don't they, for their magic? Well, someone paid them more than the rest of us can, and so now they're trying to take the city down.
And then once the city is down, how is that good for the temple?
I don't know. I'm not one of them temple servants. I'm not a monk. They've got their own devious plans. And a few other people are like, oh, yeah, devious plans.
Devious.
People said me running the graveyard was a devious plan for fresh meat.
Oh. Whoa.
And one of the guards says, the guard captain says, now look, they're right. There's nothing that these people are trying to do to you. So instead of doing this, why don't you relax and let some of the guard and maybe the, heroes of the city help find out what's going to happen. And so the sort of mob sort of, murmurs angrily, and the guy who's been sort of leading the charge comes over, and he comes right on up to the four of you, and he says, right, do you promise you're going to protect this city and we're not going to have more attacks like the one that we had?
Gonna promise to do our very best.
What?
All right. This one there is a hero of the city. She says they're going to do their best. That means they're going to stop the attacks. And we all know what happens if the attack isn't stopped. And everyone's like, yeah, all right. We'll trust you because you are a hero. But if you're wrong, well, we'll be finding you and tracking you down next.
Did you just threaten my ghoul?
And he sort of looks
I'm
around.
used to that.
Well, no, I was
No,
talking to the dwarf here. What? No, he's...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, threatening the dwarf, that's fine. So as long as
No,
it's
Yeah.
the
not-
dwarf has the troll. We have
That-
our responsibilities very sorted out.
Hello.
Come on, love. Like, where are you jumping in to protect your little dwarf friend?
Well, they just called you a hero.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's true.
what?
All right, fine. Yes, it seems that nothing I say matters. So we will absolutely 100%. That is 100 out of 100. If there was a 100 different universes, in 100 of them, we would protect this city from all the things.
All
no,
things.
no.
Everyone's like,
No,
oh,
no, 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 no,
all
no.
things. You
I
see
don't
some
have
people
that
high
much
fiving
time.
each other, like all things.
No.
Like all things. That
Subject
sounds
to
good.
contract negotiations.
That gets drowned out. They don't hear that. They just hear all these other things.
Right.
I'm
So
just joking.
anyway, everything's going to be all right. Go back to your homes, your families, enjoy the rest of, if there's more of the festival going on, everything's going to be all right. I personally promise, all on me, I am personally promising this. I don't even know these three. It's just me, Hwedel Wes Cragman, that is promising this thing. Ignore
So-
these other people.
They've now built like this circle around you, Hwedel, and they're all watching as you declare like I, Hwedel, blah 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 blah. And they're just sort of like they hear that and then all right, and a bunch of people slap you on the back and like clap, and you're just like, that's right. This was a hero of the city and personally guarantees that the city will not be attacked by anything again. And everyone's like high-fiving and stuff. And the mob very happily heads off. You get a lot of promises, Hwedel, of, come by my house. There's always the drinks are always on me, blah, 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 blah type of thing.
Hwedel turns
yeah.
to Lump and is like, I think we need to leave the city immediately.
I think you need to leave the city immediately.
I fly
We'll
towards
catch
But
up.
who
You
will
keep-
feed your wizard?
You'll get running.
I fly towards Hwedel.
I just look over at Reginald. Sorry, I'm just like, sometimes you gotta cut losses. The wizard's gone.
If he couldn't get out of a locked room, he probably wasn't a very good wizard.
No.
Hwedel, if I realize something is a bad idea, that should make you think. And also, I think you'll need a new identity, and I can help with that.
Look,
Go ahead, Hwedel.
everyone else is gone now, and I can sort of talk to my pals quietly. Look, I think it was very clear there that they weren't going to take no for an answer. So I've taken it on me. If I have to leave the city, it'll be up to you three
But
to save. I just didn't want your faces to be dragged through the mud and your names. I hope that if they catch me tomorrow and string me up and maybe take me down the docks and maybe like have one last like meeting with Unger, maybe like a last meal. Do you reckon?
Oi! And you hear behind you is the guardsman. I just want to thank you for doing that. It could have been gotten very difficult, and you helped clear things off, and I appreciate it. My name's Jesper Nettles of City Watch, and the rest of us, and, all of us here are really glad to hear that you've taken control. We've already made sure to send word that you've got things under control, and made sure to pass along your name to the sheriff, just so he has all the details. So we should be all good to go. and sort of, nods. And they all sort of, the guards behind all smile and say, what I like about it, too, is that, you just came right out and said what you meant. There was no attempting to lie or make stuff up. It was just straightforward. And that's the kind of thing we need more of in this city, especially with everything that's going on. And they all the guards nod and they say, so, just wanted to say thanks again. And if you ever need something from the City Watch, just make sure that you let us know now that we know that the city is going to be safe. And they kind of slap you on the back, Weddle, and, say, right, well, thanks very much. And we got to be on our way on the watch here.
When do we get paid?
Not one attempt to lie.
Pay will happen. Go ahead, Regina.
My respect for humans plummets every day.
That's why I like working in a graveyard.
You can just plummet them directly.
I make sure they don't come back.
Lum just taps Weddle on the back. He's like, "You're my hero, and now you're going first in the fight."
Is Elena still here?
She is, and she's sort of behind her table with some flowers, some sort of sad-looking flowers still on top of it. But she's looking over in your direction.
Scoop her up, add it to the collection of people in the bedroom. In the bath. Go on, in you get.
We've got room in the cupboard for one more.
Yeah. Get some wine down you in the cupboard.
But no, she is
What else
still
do we
standing
need?
there
Do we need a
behind the
potter?
table.
Do we need a baker? Do we need a candlestick maker? Line them up. We'll get them in.
I think I've done enough damage. If anyone wants to go and talk to Elena, I will hold.
I thought you'd done enough damage before that happened.
Quettle's gonna hold his mouth shut like this.
Oh man. Okay, so
Lum
who's
just
going over?
leans in with his sewing kit. He's like, "Need a hand."
Who's going over to talk to Elena?
If nobody does it, Regina will.
I was gonna say if no one does it, she'll walk away.
Well then, Regina flies over.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Did you stop those people? They were
No,
pretty angry.
I have nothing to do with that at all.
Oh, okay.
It was a foreign hero.
Oh. Is it? Are you friends with? Like pointing right at Lumpus leaning in front of Weddle. That friendly hero? Like
What?
foreign hero over there? Are you friendly
Foreign-
with them or?
Hello.
Oh, I wish. So
Just pointing at Weddle. He's like, hero. Hero. Hero.
so do you have a good day?
Well, it was okay until all those people came. They scared off my customers, and I don't have a lot of my flowers
Did you-
left, I'm afraid.
Yep, good. Okay. Did you have a good festival?
Oh, it was fine. Yeah, I got a chance to dance a little bit. That was nice.
Yeah. Did you trade away a triangle wooden necklace?
Did I? Well, that seems a little bit of a personal thing. I'm not sure that's your business to ask that.
Okay. So where did you get it originally from?
What? And she kind of said, "Well, wait a minute now. Hey, what?
Hey.
Hey."
Hello.
She says, a couple times you go back and forth with the hey thing, and then she's like, "Well, I mean, I gave it to someone, but I don't want to.
No. That is completely your thing. I just want to know where it came from.
Oh, well." And then she looks over and she catches sight of Reginald, and she says, "Oh, well, it was." Oh, and then she kind of narrows her eyes. No. He was wearing a suit. It was Mirak. Mirak runs. Yeah, Mirak. He's a ghoul too.
Okay.
But he runs a music shop, and he gave me the talisman. He gave me the necklace at his store.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where it
Thank
came
you.
from.
Look, wonderful. Have good luck with your flowers.
And she nods and she says, "All right. And good luck with your foreign hero friend that you don't know."
Yes, thank you.
Hello.
Okay.
Awesome. Mirek, Ghoul, music shop. Where is the music shop?
So she tells you that the music shop is just outside the market district, sort of to the north. So
Awesome. Thank you. This was a really good conversation, and I'm happy we had it. See you.
okay, and she sort of waves like in a kind of, okay, and send you a hey Tiganji. And so so she tells you basically where to find this music store. I don't want to just push you in a direct. I mean, it's up to you. I know you're all following the trail.
First of all, I'm going to proudly tell everybody, like,
Okay.
I got the information. She got the necklace from Mirok, the ghoul, in a suit, who owns a music shop, which is that direction. You know, sometimes you just have to make people feel that if they answer your questions, you will go away. And I think that works well for me.
You do have that technique mastered.
Thank you.
So you're heading off in the direction of where the music store is told, or am I?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you find so you make your way up to the north, and you eventually find your way to the music store, which you think is owned by the ghoul, and you know this because the sign on the outside sells the Well Gould clavichord, and you're like, I'm pretty sure that you think what they were trying to go for there, if you had to guess, and it is more or less where Elena told you it could be found.
Reginald starts laughing at the sign.
Somebody got it. Okay. So and you can see just on the very inside of it that there are, it's not a very big store, but there are a lot of different kinds of, looks like stringed, like maybe lutes, and there are, you think you see possibly maybe a guitar. There's some drums and things like that. You do not see any Kruths, I want to make clear, Weddle. There's none others of those to be found in this godforsaken city.
It's a good thing that Huedor's got his holding his mouth shut, or he'd have a thing or two to say about these
How
loots.
dare you? Yeah. So when you all go in there, you all barely fit in. But there doesn't seem to be anyone in the store. But there is a bell that's on the counter of this store.
Ding!
Lum just really gingerly presses it with one finger.
Okay.
Ding.
Ding. So popping up seemingly out of nowhere is someone that looks, it is a ghoul like Reginald, but looks quite different. Mostly because this ghoul is wearing a very smart, what looks like a tailored suit. Like very, like top of the line, type of Renaissance era, if you could imagine that to come out of game for a minute, business suit. Yes, welcome to the Well Gould clavichord. I am your guide to the world of magical music. Oh, and he stops and he says, wait, are you the heroes of the city?
I point at Weddle.
This one is.
That one.
I thought it was 4 of you that were, but either way, if you're a hero of the city, it's my great pleasure to give you this. And Weddle, Mirak hands over a card, and it says on it 10% off your next 5 purchases. And it has like little punch holes in it. Looks like you punch the card after every purchase.
Oh, thank you. This is actually quite useful. Yeah, thank you.
The least I could do. Why? What can I do to help the heroes of the city? Or the hero of the city and friends?
He points to
looks over
Lum.
at Regina. Lum looks at Regina.
Regina looks at Reginald.
We were wondering if you traded away as part of the festival a necklace shaped like this?
Oh, yes, I did to Elena. Elena's one of my better customers. Often comes into the store for different kinds of music to dance to. Yes, I gave her the necklace, and it was just a trinket, not a big thing.
What did
Who
you
did
call
you-
it?
I called it a trinket.
That's not the first word you said. I'm trying to understand if that was deliberate or if that was the GM making a mistake.
Sometimes, once in a while, I have the sense that someone elsewhere is making a mistake on my behalf. That may
Okay,
have
that's what I
happened here.
thought. I get that a lot too. Almost like you're some sort of puppet in some sort of game. I
Exactly.
understand completely.
It's very
Moving on.
meta. So
Hey,
Looks very worried at Lump. You know, so I didn't realize that Lump was having these feelings about the world and his existence in it, you know?
I poke Reginald. Where did he get it from?
You could say that yourself. Where did you get that from?
You usually talk to ghouls.
that was I got it from, and he sort of thinks, oh, that's right. I was on Redbird Street, and there was a boy, human boy, young, not too young, black hair, very energetic, whistling. I told him that he had good pitch, and he said thank you, and then gave me that. He was on Redbird Street, but I don't know his name.
Redbird Street, energetic boy, black hair, whistles. Okay. Thank you very much. That's very helpful.
And he nods. It's my pleasure. Remember, for all your music needs, we are the ones to, he leans forward, take note of.
I turn to the others and just go, ghoul humor.
I don't get it.
Well, you see, because it's a music shop, right? And music, when you play music, you play in notes, you know, like la 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 la, but in tune.
Yeah.
And also to take note of something means that you know, store that information. You go, noted, you see? So it's a note in two different
Noted.
ways.
Yeah. But
Don't
what's
worry,
the
love.
joke?
Oh, it's just ghoul things. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I still don't get it. Lump leaves the shop.
That's okay. Reginald talks with the ghouls.
Not like they need translating.
So you say?
They do need bells putting on them, though. That one was very quiet, too.
So where do we go now?
Redbird Street, wasn't it?
Redbird Street.
Why
Why did he point out that the human wasn't too young? That was really weird.
Yeah, too young for what?
Yeah.
Sticky with wizard room.
To put him in a room with a naked wizard.
For general kidnapping
We'd
purposes.
just like to point out ahead of time, this one is not a suitable kidnap candidate.
Yeah. It's the difference between a crime and a felony.
Just
Okay. Redbird
I
Street.
thought that was crossing state lines or something.
Well, I think we've pretty much crossed that one off.
Nice, he's not left
Okay.
the room.
Weddle's just going to Redbird Street now. Probably walks confidently in the wrong direction again.
Reggie now
Excellent.
follows.
yeah, I would say that that's actually now you know what? How about let me see, Weddle. Let me see if
Oh man, you was really worried when the dungeon master starts flipping through the pages. Like, hang on, let me see.
Like,
Let me
oh,
dig real deep for this nasty
no.
trick I read once.
Yeah.
All I was trying to do was walk out of a music shop.
Well, that part was fine. It was the when you're like, I
Getting-
walk confidently in the wrong direction.
Getting lost in a city.
Yeah, let's see.
Talisman, again, 100% faithful to the board games.
Okay, let's see.
You
I'm
wind
gonna
up in
have
prison.
I'm gonna have you know. I'm gonna have you make a notice test. And so the question is, do you have notice?
Oh, exactly.
Okay, so that's 3d6. So
Who
let's
is doing this?
roll. This is Weddle doing this.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, so I think I have the dice roller in the wrong spot on my screen. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't have it scrolled up enough. Okay, so we're looking at an 11, right? Okay, so Weddle, you do in fact confidently march off. It is in fact the wrong direction, and Regina's sort of buzzing after you. And Lump and Reginald, when you get out of the store, you know you're both about to head to the direction that you think you know Redbird Street is in, but Weddle is not going that way.
I'll try yelling like, wrong way.
Hello.
I turned around.
This way. Hello.
Huddle turns around.
This way's quicker.
This way.
Oh, right, good. I've been going the long way round everywhere. I'll trust you to the shortcuts.
Yeah, if you're not careful, this place turns into a real one-way system.
Can get very stuck.
Good job there's no parade.
Okay. As you head off, Lump, it occurs to you that where you're going, Redbird Street, is near the alleyway where you were accosted earlier today.
Okay, thank you.
Just noting that for the record.
Yep.
Okay. When you arrive at Redbird Street, you actually hear it before you arrive to it because you hear, and this has been a few hours now, so we're talking about early afternoon based. I'm trying to think, actually, wait a minute, when you got to the docks. No, that was the afternoon, so this would have been actually evening now as you get to it, and you can hear the sound of, even now, even though it's, like the darkness is coming on quickly, you hear the sound of children's voices, apparently, going, woo, yeah, woo, and all sort of like having a good time and playing and sort of making sounds. There's sort of raucous laughter all coming from the direction of Redbird Street. And so you can actually see it before you turn onto it. In case
Do we hear any whistling?
You do not hear whistling yet, no.
I don't think I should speak to a child.
I don't think I should speak to anyone. I think that Regina should talk. She did a great job with Elena, and she's not as...
She's size appropriate.
I wasn't going to say it like that, but yeah.
Of course, I'm always size appropriate. So yes, I am.
Could you also fly up a little to see if you could see the child?
I can fly up a little, and I can see if I see the child. I do that.
Okay. Yeah, when you fly up, you can see that there are kids sort of down below on the street that seem to be playing with each other. They seem to be tossing maybe a ball back and forth, and it's a little confused, but it looks like they're playing what, maybe in your younger days you might have known as keep away. Like you toss the ball back and forth from one person to another without letting one other person get it. And so they're tossing it around, and there are 5 or 6 kids, and there are a couple with dark hair, one with red hair, there's a couple of others, and they're sort of tossing this ball around, and one kid is leaping up and running after it, and the other kids are laughing and tossing it back and forth
Okay.
to each other.
This is not a problem. I know how children's work. I steal the ball.
Okay.
Thanks.
Really? Okay. Let's see.
And we're already in a turf war. Great.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna like fly in, snatch the ball, and then hover over the kids.
Oh my gosh! I just looked at 3 different skills that were possible as you were describing what you were going to do. Let's go with, well, first of all, thank you to Quadrillion for the tier 1 sub. 96 months. My goodness, that is 8 years, Quadrillion. Good gravy. Thank you so much for the sub on GogCom's Twitch channel, Quadrillion. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And welcome. Okay, so I think this is looking like an athletics check to me.
Okay.
So do you have the skill, athletics?
Yes.
Do you have a acrobatics focus?
Nope.
Okay, so then we're just talking 3d6 plus aspect, and I would say agility is what we're looking at here.
Thought so. Okay. 3d6 plus aspect. And we're gonna use, because I really want this ball, I'm gonna use Dark Fate to give myself an extra die.
Outstanding. You mean light fate?
Yes, I mean a light fate.
I know
Of
what you
course I
mean.
a light fate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. What is this? They changed it in Roll20. One moment.
Hey,
Whoa,
Shamager.
not. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to roll it.
That's okay. Go ahead and roll the one you're supposed to, or that you want to.
There we go. Roll. Wait, no. Why is it 20? I put in D6. I swear.
42. You blow up the world from.
One moment. Why is this? There should be a drop down menu, but it doesn't drop down anything. There's a roll command in chat, right? Like.
There is.
Oh,
but
yeah, it's broken. Yeah, it's the new UI.
Okay.
So I've actually got the same thing.
I hope I can just make it.
I don't think I even
chat.
approved that. I think they just were eventually like, okay, it's no longer beta. There we
Okay,
go.
I managed to do it in chat with a chat command. I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna drop the 2 in this case,
Okay.
and then I've got a 15 with triples.
Yep, that is an extraordinary success. So
Yes.
you were actually able to grab the ball with one hand, and then dramatically like flip over the crowd of kids who were just sort of like, looking up at you like this, and then you come to a rest, and you said you were hovering over them. So I have this
Yes.
image you're hovering over them now. Very important, Regina. What is the
Out of
demeanor
reach.
of your hovering? Are you hovering as in kind of a "Hello, I'm Regina," or are you hovering as the "Tell me what I want to know, swear to me"?
No, I'm
What,
I'm
whatever
like,
you
I got your ball, I got your ball. Everything is funny and everything is good.
Okay, and they're all like, "Hey,
Yeah.
well, look,
I'm gonna-
it was amazing! Wow!"
Yeah. That is, yeah. So, I'm gonna give you your ball back.
That sounds good. All right, toss it to him. And like two of
Yes,
the kids break
you
off.
Just have to you just have to whistle for me, and you shall choose your best whistler to whistle for me.
And they sort of look at each other. The best whistler?
Yes, the one who can whistle the best. He shall whistle, and then you're gonna get the ball back.
And they all sort of look at each other.
Yeah. No.
Like the whistling is not super great. Like they're all sort of trying to do it, and they're just kind of
Yeah.
like
None.
it's not the best whistling you've ever heard.
Nobody here can whistle.
Well, I mean, no, unless you talk about Logan. I mean, he's not here. His mom took him home just about 2 minutes ago. You missed him.
Yeah.
She had him
Mom's
by
not
the
like
ear. She was yelling at him.
Horrible. Yeah.
They
I
went
know.
that way.
Where does he live?
Oh, he lives up there by Redeemer's Avenue. It's not that far. I don't know what house number though. No, he
How
just
does the
left
house
though.
look like?
Oh, I don't know. He always comes outside of it before we see him.
Yeah, well, then you're standing outside and then you see the house, right? I mean, that's how it works.
No, he comes here to play with us.
Oh, Logan. Do you
Yeah.
know the mom's name?
Logan's mom? And they all
Yeah.
sort of look at each other. Logan's mom.
Logan's there. Okay, yeah, that's yeah, I understand. That must be a human thing. Okay, thank you very much. And I
Can we
throw
hear the ball?
just
Okay.
directly in the air and fly away.
Okay, you hear this, ah, like everyone runs into each other to grab the ball. Okay.
I fly back proud. The boy we're looking for is called Logan. He lives with Logan's mom in the Redeemer
Avenue.
Avenue.
Excellent.
Do we
Thank
know
you.
where that is?
Over there.
Oh, all right. Good work.
Yeah.
Let's
thank
go.
You. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so you, assuming you're all doing this, sounds like you're heading in the direction of the Redeemer's Avenue. When you get to Redeemer's Avenue, you see a line of what can only be described as stately homes, like, old money homes, right? The ones that you walk in, you feel it should be like, da, 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 very, beautiful, like pleasant music type of thing. You also see standing in sort of next to each of the houses is an identically armored, fully plate armored guard in golden plate mail. Now, if it's real gold, that looks dramatic and is the crappiest plate armor you could conceive of, because gold's actually a very soft metal. But sure, it looks damn good. And it might just be an alloy anyway. But regardless, there's one of each of these standing between each of these houses.
This
Oh,
boy
boy.
fancy.
Huddle's just quickly trying to wipe the last of the dung sweeper's crap off the bottom of his shoe so he doesn't smell as bad.
It would look weird if we asked the guards whether they know.
I was already approaching a guard.
Okay.
Well then.
Excuse me. We're trying to find Logan's mum and was told she lives around here.
And you hear Logan's mother is behind the mask, so you just, what exactly are you mean? Who is that?
The mother of Logan, small boy, energetic, whistles, black hair.
And the guard thinks, and if you mean Logan Red Hollow, is that who you mean?
Yes.
Well, Logan Red Hollow was brought home just a little while ago, and his mother is not happy. I don't know whether she's interested in seeing anyone. Did he do something? Does he owe you money?
We need to ask him a couple of questions, that's all.
And who's your authority?
The heroes of the city.
And he looks and, oh, yes, you're the heroes of the city. I do know you. And wait, I and looks, and that one right there, and points at you, Weddle, was particularly the hero of the city. If I remember correctly, I was told. Everyone's talking about it. Anyway, I can at least knock on the door for you, but I need to watch while you go in just to make sure everything is safe. And he comes up and actually brings you a few houses down. This very nice sort of field stoned wall and all that of each of the walls of these houses. And you walk up the stairs with him, and then he, knocks and this sonorous on the door from inside. And then there's a pause, and then the door opens to reveal a dark-haired woman. And she's quite beautiful, but you can't quite make out what it is, but there seems like she's kind of like wiping something off as if she might have been crying or something right before you came. And she says, yes. And the guard says, my apologies, Mrs. Red Hollow, but someone has come to talk to you about Logan. And she says, oh, what has he done? What did he do? What did he do? I'm sorry for anything he's done. I'm sure we can pay you back for it. Maybe there's an issue we can address. What did he do?
I believe the hero of the city just has a couple of questions for you.
And she looks around. The hero of the city, and then she sees Weddle. Oh, yes, the guards were telling me about this. Yes, what can I do for you, hero of the city?
We believe that Logan might have information that is key to keeping the city safe and saving everyone. So we were hoping to talk to him about a triangle necklace that he might have seen or briefly traded in and out with people during the festival.
But you're going to arrest him then, right? I mean, that's what this means. Whenever you say he has an actual, he has information, that means he has information leading to him being arrested because he did something wrong, right? Did he steal this thing, this necklace?
We're not here to arrest your son. We are here to help him to help us save the city.
To scare
He's
him
not in
straight
any
so he doesn't
trouble.
do anything wrong? I know what this is about, right? You're going to scare him straight? You know what? Ever since his father is gone, it's been hard for me to try to manage him on my own, and I'm kind of at the end of my rope, and so she sort of starts crying a little bit on the front stairs, and the guard is kind of maybe this isn't the great time, Mrs. Red Hollow, even from the hero of the city.
It's all right. I understand. It's difficult, being somebody who's left behind and you have so much responsibility. I feel that, I really do. When you have a lot of responsibility, and you might be feeling lost and uncertain, and you don't know what's going to happen, and you're so worried for the people around you. I can tell that you're feeling very lost about this right now, and I think all we've heard about Logan is a lot of the kids, they really like him. We've got no reason to think that he's a bad kid. I don't know what anyone else has said about him, but I can tell that you're a really lovely woman, and I can't think that he could be anything different. And I really do think, he could help to save the city, and it might be something really positive for him as well, to have that chance to do something positive to help the heroes of the city.
She says, you think so?
I am so certain.
Okay, I'd like you to make a persuasion check for me, Weddle, and this sounds like a negotiation to me. So if you have a focus in negotiation, I'll take that.
Persuasion, negotiation, I do.
Okay.
So that is...
So that means 3d6 plus, and the persuasion will be insight. So 3d6 plus insight plus 2.
Excellent. I have the charming word special ability, which allows me to use wits or resolve instead of insight for persuasion checks.
I'll take that happily.
So I will use resolve. So let's go / roll 3d6 plus 6 plus 2.
I see. Okay. So what are we looking at? Is that 22 I see?
22.
On the board, I think. And she says, well, yes, of course. You're right. Logan? And Logan, the aforementioned Logan, sort of peers around, comes around the corner, and sort of walks up slowly towards you. Logan looks to be a boy of 9, maybe 10 or 11, somewhere in that range, with dark hair. And he doesn't look at you at all. He just kind of looks down at his feet. And his mother says, Logan, these people want to ask you something, and you could actually help the city. And it would be nice if you could do that for a change. And he kind of like kicks at the ground sullenly. Doesn't say anything.
Weddle will bring himself down, which is not that far, to be honest, to the child's level, but not in a patronizing way, and it's just like, hello, my name's Weddle. I don't know if you'll have heard of me before. Everyone's calling me a hero of the city. But I think, sometimes people go away and they start running their mouths saying all sorts of things. You can't always trust what everyone says. And I don't trust what people might have been saying about you, because I can see that you're a pretty good kid. You look smart to me. You look really nice. I can tell you really care about your mum. And I'm going to ask you a question now. And no matter what your answer is, I want you to know that you're not going to be in any trouble. All right? And what you answer could help us to save the city.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I'm glad.
It was Jaren who did it. It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
All right.
And even if I did do it,
you.
I didn't mean to do it.
Thank you. Thank you for telling me. So we've heard that you were really lovely to this man, Mirak, who owns a music shop. You were really lovely, and you gave him a wooden necklace that had a shape like this. He spoke very highly of you. He said your whistling was really, really great, and you're the best whistler that he's heard in the city. So he was really pleased about that, and he said that you were really kind to him and you gave him a wooden necklace. Do you remember that?
And he kind of like looks up at his mother, and his mother says, "Logan, I had told you I didn't want you to take anything during the festival from strangers. It's dangerous." And he kind of is like, I don't want to get in trouble.
It's all right. We can send the guard away if you'd like. It's just us.
The guard.
Do you mind?
And then he realizes the guard is there, and the guard is kind of like, "I'll be on my way," and goes back down. And he says, and there's this like kind of pure falling whistle that Logan gives, and then he says, "Well, yeah, Mirak was." He's always kind of nice to me. He hears me whistling sometimes, and so he said that he was really proud of that I had made so much progress, because he's been teaching me, and his mother looks at him, "Teaching you what? To whistle?" And his mother looks like she's like trying to process something that doesn't involve like your son has burned down the castle or something, right? Like, oh, she says, "And it was going to be a surprise, Mom, because it's your birthday in 2 weeks, and I was going to whistle you happy birthday, and I didn't want anybody to know. And the kids make fun of me when they know that I was going to get you a present, so I didn't. I punched one of them in the face, and then I ran, and then you came and you said I was fighting." And his mother is like, "Oh, well, yes, oh." He says, "So anyway, yeah, I gave him the necklace because he was being nice to me, and it's a festival, and that's what you're supposed to do."
I see. I knew it. Called it. He's a good kid. I know. I could see that you really care, Logan.
Don't tell any kid though that I care.
I won't tell any kids. Okay. I don't talk to kids. I only talk to the best kids, such as yourself. And I haven't met any other cool ones. So yeah. The other question, I wanted to ask is, can you remember who gave you the necklace?
And he nods and he says, "Yeah, I do. She gave it to me when I was so what happened was we were playing in the street, and the ball went a little bit too far, and it kind of went down one street, and so I ran after it, and so when I came to an end, it was like sitting in front of a stand, and it was a really nice like him, and points at you, Lump, and says, and it was it was like him, but she was she was sort of a little taller, and she had a long ponytail, and she had leather armor on, and she was selling really cool swords and knives, and I was gonna get one, like I was gonna get 2 swords, and then he sees his mother, like, but then I decided not to, because of course I'm not supposed to get anything that could hurt people, like he clearly says as if he's reciting from memory. And then he says, but anyway, yeah, her name is Noah. And she said, she talked to me about playing ball. And then I said I really thought she had awesome knives and swords, and I wanted to buy one, but my mom wouldn't that it wasn't the right thing to do. And so she said she understood, and then she gave me this, the necklace. And then I gave it to Mirak.
Thank you. That is really useful. You have helped us as the heroes of the city, and you're a really good kid. Have you heard of this thing called apprenticeship?
Mom's always threatening to apprentice me to the dung sweeper. Is that what you mean?
Well, it doesn't have to be the dung sweeper, but it's a lucrative, it's a very good career if you did choose to do that. We've recently met the head dung sweeper, who is stoic, and also Emil, who is a human dung sweeper. But I was thinking, maybe broach the subject with Mirak. If you want to learn more about music and things, it could be something.
And his mother, like, well, that's fascinating. We'll have to see, right, dear, whether or not we actually want you to learn anything about music. And she says, musicians. And then she kind of steps back, and Logan says, okay, yeah, all right. But thank you. I'll think about the music part. That'll be, and his mother says, yes, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Like kind of, shushing him and like moving him back into the house. And then she says, well, thank you for, I hope you have all the answers to your questions, and, good luck with finding the necklace. And like just clicks the door like in front of you.
What's wrong with musicians?
Mm.
Looks down at his cut, like, it's all right, baby. It's okay.
I like musicians.
Thank you. I like musicians too. All right, we got to find a troll. How long until bedtime, by the way?
At this point, it's probably 9 p.m., you would guess. So it's definitely dark now.
Huddle's definitely starting to like wonder, what is Noja's afraid of? Probably something like,
if it's sinking, we're okay.
well, if it's cracking and things, it would attack the harbor, and then he's thinking,
maybe it attacks where. But what if it attacks where the talisman is? I mean, it's a point towards the sea.
Then Nogus is very dead. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Well,
Well,
what we can do about it.
Nope.
We just have to keep going, I guess.
Yep.
Somebody somewhere knew what this thing was.
Lum's like, oh, that's why we're doing this. I get it now.
Also, if we find the person who made the talisman and is a dwarf, then Huedla is happy. So there's good things.
Correct.
Excellent. So,
I need to find a troll.
yes.
I'm looking for
city.
another nondescript burly woman in the city.
Maybe that wizard could help find it.
Why are you so obsessed with going back to the wizard?
Because at the very least, I need to bury him and make sure his ghost doesn't haunt the place afterwards.
You don't need
It's
to
kind of my thing.
Okay, I guess. How many days has it been?
It's
I've
only
been reading
been
a scroll.
It's only been like a day, right?
a day and a half, yeah.
Oh, he's fine. He'll have eaten a piece of furniture or something. He'll be fine. We've got at least another day before humans start to shrivel up.
I'm just saying, at best, we have an angry wizard. At worst, we have a cover-up.
Humans can survive weeks without food, but only days without water. Don't ask me how I know that.
I'm reading into that. I was like, yeah.
Right. Lump, lead the way with your troll senses.
Okay, give me a second. Lump straightens up. That way.
Are you basing this on anything in particular, Lump, or is it just
Nope.
okay?
We've got nothing.
Picking a direction and going in it. I'm going to say I walk out of the house and I turn right and I go that way.
Okay. So I think this calls for a skill test, is what this sounds like to me, because I don't otherwise have the faintest idea how to adjudicate the troll find troll code that we're talking about here. So I am going to ask, I think.
No is the answer. I don't have that skill. I
let's-
might actually. I don't know. It's like
I'm thinking we're talking about investigation here.
no.
Let's see. You could use. Yeah, you could use probably wits or insight. So investigation is the thing, but actually, since you don't have a focus in this, or if you don't have the skill of investigation, then it would just be rolling 3d6.
Yeah,
Because
it's
we're
just
looking at-
rolling 3d6.
Okay.
Bear with me a second. My tab just crashed, so I haven't clicked on it in a while. So apparently Windows was just like, you're not using this anymore, so we're just going to kill it. Let's just hop back into Talisman, thanks. The one time I actually needed it. So 3d6. Dice. 3d6. Wabam. Yeah. Whilst we're young. It's a 10.
10.
10.
So, so you begin to sort of wander throughout the streets of the city as the night gets on, and the torches go up, and the lights, the lanterns are lit in the city. You are not super aware of where you would find torches in particular. Or rather, sorry, where you would find a particular troll in particular. And so, an hour passes. We're looking about 10 o'clock or so.
So sorry, just to butt in a second. I was going to give it maybe about 20 minutes before I started just randomly asking people if they'd seen a troll selling weapons.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to affect it.
That might. Let's see.
Like little bit of gusto and bravado, it'd be like, oh, okay, it's this way, and then it'd be like, actually, I have no idea where this person's gonna be. I need to start asking people.
Let me have you make another investigation check. This one will be when you're talking to people for it.
What?
So we're looking at an
I mean,
old...
it's one more.
It is one more. It's definitely one more than it was before.
Yeah.
The good news, though, is that you seem to be getting led generally in the right direction. Basically, what I'm going to say is that you are eventually able to, by talking to this one and talking to that one and talking to the other one, it takes time, but probably somewhere around 10 o'clock or so, you make your way to the street where you would expect the troll to be. Now, one thing that occurs to you is that, 10 o'clock is pretty late for things to be open, but this is during the Festival of Strangers when stuff is kept open later. However, on the other hand, that city just came under attack, the night before. So, but nonetheless, there are still some people wandering around, and you can see the aforementioned person described, a troll with a long hair and a ponytail, with leather armor, standing by a bridge, and there's a table that is just bristling with bladed weapons, swords, knives, daggers, throwing stars, things like that.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Sorry, I was about to pack up just a moment. It is late and people are not out the way I was hoping they would be. Who were you? And she kind of squints. Oh, you're one of the heroes of the city. Oh, and then points at you. At Huedel. You're the
I point at
hero
Huedel.
of the city. I heard all about you.
Hero.
Every merchant from this side to the other side of the city has heard about the heroes of the city at this point. Well, what can I do for you? Thank you for saving us. The merchants would have been in big trouble if you hadn't been around, that's for sure.
We were just wondering if you'd seen a small boy named Logan and given him a small medallion, like like this. And he tries his best to make a triangle, but he sort of makes a diamond.
Oh, and she says, yes, yeah, I gave it to Logan. There was a ball that came right in front of my stand, and he came running after it, and so we got to talking, and he's got a really good whistle, so we were talking about music, and he said he wants to go into music, but his mother's kind of doesn't really like doing it, and he said he really likes my swords and knives. He said he couldn't buy one because the real reason is his mother won't let him. I know that deal, but yes, I gave him the necklace because, well, it seemed like he was going to have fun with it, and so I didn't need it anymore. So that's what you do on the Festival of Strangers. Maybe he would tell someone else about it, and I get another customer too.
Can I ask where you got the necklace from?
Well, and she kind of sighs. She says, I'm not really proud of it because this person is, well, she's kind of a handful.
That's okay.
She's a bit of a prankster. She likes to play jokes on people.
And you got it from this person? Or
Yes.
Did you take it? Or
No, she gave it to me, but
okay.
And she kind of like trails off, and she says, well, just be careful around her is all. She was in the Square of Kings when I saw her. But she's sort of strange. Just be careful around her, that's all.
Okay, we will be. Do you know what they look like?
Yes.
Or their name?
She's got a curly blonde hair, and she has a green tunic with gold trim, and there's a cap with a feather sticking out of it. Yellow feather, I think. I don't totally remember her name, but I know what she was doing to people before I showed up. She was insulting them. She was mocking them. That's kind of why I took it. I didn't want her to mock me.
So, wait, did you take it or were you given it?
She gave it to me.
Why did she give you it? Because of the festival or because
I think it was just because of the festival. At least I figured that's what it was. And then I just took it and gave it to someone else.
Square. So someone in King Square with a hat with a yellow feather in it insulting people.
Mm-hmm.
Is the hat magical?
Oh, I don't know, but I'll bet she was. She was a sprite. I'm almost sure of it.
A sprite. Okay.
You know sprites.
Yes, yeah. That helps with the looking for the height of someone. I'm not looking for a big human person or a troll. I'm looking for a sprite. Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you.
And she nods and she says, "All right, be careful and thanks for being heroes. Good luck to everything." And as the four of you are walking away, she says, "I heard nothing bad's going to happen again." She calls after you. Yeah,
until we open that door at the hotel.
I just take one step back towards them. I'm like, how do I get to King Square?
Oh, that's easy. If you just walk over the bridge and then head up to the right, the first street on your right, you'll be able to get to the Square of Kings, 5 minutes from here. It shouldn't be too difficult. There's not all that many people out on the streets either.
Lovely. Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
And same. And she sort of smiles. And do you set off? I want to make sure I'm not.
I'm gonna walk up to the others and go, it's that way, right, King Square. Looking for a sprite with a hat with a yellow feather in it, insulting people. You know, if it weren't for the yellow feather, I might have thought it was you. And I look over at Regina.
Oh?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. You said if I would be insulting people, you wouldn't have sent me to talk to people. So I know I'm not insulting people.
There was a time. There was a time.
I insulted a tree and it deserved it.
Depends how angry you are.
I was very angry at the tree.
Or sober.
But
Depends
I've got a
sober you are too.
question. Is yellow like a magical color?
Oh God, are there magical colors?
I don't know, but look,
Lump just holds his head in his hands.
we had the yellow flower necklaces of the festival. We had the yellow dress of the flower seller. We have the sprite with the yellow feathered hat. We had I think the weapon seller had a yellow thing on her table where she was selling the things. And so it's like yellow everywhere the necklace goes.
I don't know. I don't understand magic. The Weddle sometimes says that music is magic, and I don't understand that either.
All right.
Okay.
This is a good thing to notice, though. It seems that people wearing yellow stuff get the necklace. So one of us needs to wear something yellow, and then someone will give us the necklace.
Okay, you do that.
No, it's not my color. I'm more like cool earthy tones, the browny grays with slight blue hues.
You know what happens if you wear yellow as a sprite? People say things like "Hello, Buttercup" and stuff like that. So no, I'm not wearing yellow.
All right, Reginald.
I don't mind wearing yellow.
All right.
Oh, good. I was going to say, unless the peddler's cloak's yellow, then I'm also not wearing any.
Is the inside of it yellow? Could we turn it inside out for a bit?
Don't cross my mind. Other than that, no, I haven't got anything.
Oh, I've got an artist's kit. Can I paint
Lump
a
just
yellow
stands there and-
T-shirt on Lump?
On Lump's chest.
Lump just T-poses like, paint me.
I suppose you could. I don't think we need to make a check for that. I think you could just
Right.
do that.
Paint me right now.
I paint
Paint me like your Faerun trolls.
I don't want to use too much paint,
Paint me-
so I'll
Paint me like your
a,
bedroom wizards.
a fishnet vest on him, so it doesn't use too much paint.
Okay. Right, I was gonna say this is gonna use up a lot of your artist kit, Weddle, but you do this is a large individual that you're painting this shirt on. But pretty soon, you have the chest painted, looking like every soccer or American football fan ever who's out, with the paint on the the body type of thing. And now you have a green troll with a very bright yellow shirt painted on him.
I feel special.
Took about a half
You
hour
are.
for that, roughly. So we're looking at 10:30 or so.
Oh God! Right, we need to find this right.
Okay.
Move and
Okay.
paint. Move and paint. Move and
Okay.
paint.
As you're moving paint along. Okay.
Let's go.
All right. When you get into the Square of Kings, there are a few people gathered around here, more people actually than somewhere else's in the city, even at this night, because although there are fewer than last night, presumably because of the attack, the festival is still going on, and the Square of Kings is where there's a lot of sort of things happening in particular. So there are a number of people there. You see some maybe eating ice cream and stuff like that as they are talking to each other. And then you hear from above you, "Is that a shirt or did you knit your back hair?" "Oh, ma'am, you might want to get checked for curses. I think you're turning into a frog." And you hear someone yelling things at people. And as you look up, I have a picture for all of you.
Oh, a character with a picture.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like... Okay, there's that. There's that.
That's a comment, but now we've finally got a picture of one of them. I feel like we've got to the important one,
Yep. Does feel like that a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
You look up and you see that on stream. A person, forget the fact that it's during the day, by the way. It is not. It is at night. But otherwise, you see the person on top sort of yelling down at people. "Does anyone else smell that? Ah, yes, the distinctive stench of street urchin." Just sort of cackling and yelling at people. And some people kind of, yelling back and shouting. One person actually throws like a apple core at them, but the sprite ducks out of the way, wings fluttering. And "Nice throw. I haven't seen something that bad since you gave up the game down at the docks the other day." And just, is like mocking people mercilessly.
I shout in the sprite's direction. "Ghoul humor is funnier than you."
And she kind of like sort of looks down. Ghoul. Oh, well, if it isn't another sprite, go find your own corner, honey. This is mine. And then she starts mocking other people. So I see we have a yellow
Reginald
and
starts
green
laughing
troll.
at that.
You know.
Now that's the funniest thing you've said so far.
And she sort of like doesn't say anything about that. She looks down and says, I've seen, so we've decided to start painting trolls now. I guess that's better than painting yourself in the blood of your enemies. Someone now just paints you in yellow instead.
Hello.
And where you don't walk into him in the dark.
Why would I want to do that? I certainly wouldn't miss him if I did. And sort of like laughs and chats. And what are you doing down there anyway while I'm trying to have fun mocking people?
Have you heard of this thing called the internet? It would be perfect for you.
We all know what the internet's for, and it's not that. No. And then doesn't say that.
I look at Lump looks over at Regina. Well, I spoke to the troll.
And I spoke to the ghouls.
You know that the fact
And Weddle did
I
speak.
definitely spoke to the dwarf.
Oh, yes, you did. Oh, yes, you did.
Checkmate.
You know, one day, my friends, I'm going to tell you how it is the whole reason I am here, that I don't want to be with other sprites.
Well, we
Because
don't
other
know that.
sprites suck.
We don't know that reason, so chop chop. Less flapping, more yapping. Come on, let's go.
I fly up.
Even Lump's out joking her.
I fly up to the
It's the paint. It's the fumes from the paint.
to the other sprite. I'm Regina Augusta III, and you'll answer my questions.
Oh, I'm Regina Augusta III, and you'll answer my... You're Regina Augusta the whatever. I could answer my own questions. Let's see.
If you could,
Are you a
wouldn't be
better
up here.
sprite than me? No. Are you a funnier one? No.
Yes to all of that. If you were really funny, you wouldn't have a corner. You would have a theater.
This is my theater.
Oh.
The whole city is my theater.
No. And you're only up here because you're afraid that people will actually throw rotten vegetables at you because of your jokes.
You're
You're
right.
not
You
only
know, I'm
unfunny,
really
you're also
deeply
craven.
insecure about all of this. I think maybe I'll just go home and pretend to be someone that says they don't even like sprites. Why'd you get out of here and find someone else to not be funny in front of? So
You know, like,
anyway, she starts
If
turning.
I had the choice not to talk to you, I would not talk to you. But I need to know why you gave the triangle wooden necklace to the troll.
And then she's, what? And she looks
I
back
need
at
to
you.
know why you gave the triangle wooden necklace to the troll.
Oh, the
And then
triangle
I'm gonna-
necklace.
And then, if you answer my question truthfully, I'll go away. And isn't that what we all want?
Right. The triangle necklace.
Yes, the triangle necklace.
That's like, you know, and she books it in the other
Yeah.
direction,
I follow.
which is going to bring an end to our session for today. But it will begin
and this
with
is why
chasing
sprites
someone.
suck.
Pretty good guess. This might be an important sprite, though, as you all have pointed out after tracing this down. Yes, I swear to God, I did not intend it to work out that each of you would have someone from your own given culture / race to speak to leading up to Regina at the end.
The payoff was beautiful for that, though.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
was. I was thinking about it. I'm like, wait, Weddle did talk to a dwarf. And I was like, well, Regina, it's all on you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch people go through. Although I don't know, I'm not sure whether people were, I'm sure you were having fun with part of it. And then I was wondering whether people were going to start getting tired of tracking down everyone, but you had to fight through to get to the place where the talisman is being held. And of course, doing this during the Festival of Strangers, where everyone is giving everyone everything, would be like tracking down a necklace of beads at Mardi Gras. Like, good luck figuring out who gave you, which at what time. But you ended up making some good progress, and we had a little bit of backstory development too that was somewhat unexpected, while our naked wizard continues to be abandoned in a room. So I feel like everything has been accomplished with everyone, including with the hero of the city. So Weddle, I mean, listen, Bruce, congratulations on making Weddle into the ultimate hero. I love the fact that Weddle doesn't just like jumps in with both feet and is just kind of like, you can almost see it unraveling where Weddle's like, you're right. I am the greatest of all heroes. Just like lays into it because, as you say, like you didn't know how to solve this problem and you wanted to get rid of this mob so you could talk to Elena, and it all worked, just at the cost of you being known as the person who promised that nothing would ever happen to the city again. I was absolutely dying, thinking, just laughing at the thought of you going through all of that to do it in that way. But nonetheless, Weddle now is, and maybe Weddle has found some other, interest as well with a certain Dwarven Harbor Master. So, who knows? How did you feel about the session today, Bruce? Where will the fine folks find you next?
I really enjoyed the session today. I've tried not to lean too much into the sort of the stereotype of bards and minstrels.
Of course.
But when you're like, oh, he's a handsome, tall dwarf, well-dressed, whatever, I was like, yeah, I'd go for that. Anyway, I quite enjoyed it, and I'm a bit nervous about probably needing to flee the city at some point, as soon as bad things start to happen again if we don't get this resolved. So Weddle's feeling really nervous, but he's got a disguise kit, so push comes to shove, he'll paint himself green. And
does he have any paint left after painting Lump? With
he only used the yellow paint, so he's
that's fair. As long as you don't disguise yourself as a banana, you should be fine.
Yeah, he'll be a very small troll. But it's a good session. I really enjoyed it. And where you will find me next is pretty much the best, most reliable place you can find me is just in the comment section of Mike's wholesome horror gaming streams. I'm just always floating around there. I'm actually there even when he's offline, just waiting.
Yeah, you really are. It's a bit weird, but I'm okay with it.
Good stuff. Thank you, Bruce. Always a pleasure, and it was enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to seeing how things happen as you pursue this lead that we have. Moving on up the line, Mike, we had sort of a tale of two sessions, I think, for you. Yes. On the one hand, we had, of course, Lump sort of trying to like figure out where he's going, doing the whole sequence where everyone's looking over at the hero, and Weddle's like, I'm not a hero, and then Lump's like, hello, every time. It was like cracking me up.
Every time they look over, I just imagine if it's like an animated series, Lump is just like, hiya.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Hello.
So there we had that, but then we also had this other unexpected moment of backstory, which I'm guessing you were not seeing coming either.
I wasn't seeing coming, no.
Yeah, and it was funny to see everyone's reaction, because everyone was like, I think it was might have been Saber who's like, wait, what? Like, what is this now? It's going to be interesting to see how you want to play that off, and when or if you're going to tell your friends about this and all that. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. So it was a session of two different types, I think. How'd you feel about today? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, really, really, really enjoyed it. The lump lore, the unexpected lump lore was definitely a bonus, and that's something that we spoke about ages ago, and I had honestly forgotten. I'll be perfectly honest. And then when you said it, I'm like, oh yeah, I said that thing, didn't I? I really should stop making up lore at 2 a.m. So no, but this is, seriously, this is part of the character development I wanted to start eking out before we sort of bring Talisman itself to a close. I wanted to add just an extra dimension to Lump, so we'll see how that goes. But I absolutely adored this session. I always adore this session. These are my favorite people on the internet, so I'm more than looking forward to playing D&D with people later on in the month, and also Talisman next month. And yeah, I just, oh my god, hug this feeling to my veins, I swear to god. But if you want to see, if you have enjoyed any of this, including my stupid voice and face, or just want to hang out with Undeveloped Bruce in my chat, you can join us on which, to be honest, that's probably the better option. You can join us on Thursday, 5 till 9 p.m. BST, GMT even, not BST, because we're not in summertime yet, I don't think. UK time, figure it out for yourself, where we're going to be playing indie horror games. So come and join us for that. Thanks.
Good stuff. And I saw someone had mentioned, I think you mentioned in chat that Lethal Company, which is very funny to watch. So I would love to see you play Lethal Company. It would crack me up.
I do really want to play it. I played it for 20 minutes
Yeah.
on solo. I went into a facility, I picked up something, and then something invisible killed me. And I'm like, oh, I see how this is going to go.
Yep. It's very funny to watch because it's so
Yeah.
goofy.
You
But
just hear other players go like, "Wah!" and then cut off.
yeah. It's very funny to watch. But always a pleasure, Mike. Great stuff tonight, as always. Great stuff, as always, as well from Saber. Saber, the ghoul, like, the hero worship ghoul that is responding in very much the way most ghouls do, was also cracking me up, where it was just like, you're like, could you do this? You're like, sure. All this was really fun. And we actually had 3 ghouls because we also had musician ghoul guy who was the head of the music shop. So lots of ghouls for everything. But then in addition to that, you also had, as you were sort of tracing all this stuff down, as we talked about before in the last adventure, which was a lot focused, there was a lot of Reginald in that last adventure because of the ghouls and the mausoleum and all that stuff. Figure what the talismans are, right, and the sort of dangers that they can theoretically pose. And so the fact that people are just sort of tossing around this thing like it's a necklace, when in fact it's this serious item, that can do all this stuff, is something that feels like Reginald knows as much or more as anybody else about the potential of what that could theoretically mean down the line. So how did you feel about today's session and being treated like a legend? And where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, the Ghoul fan club definitely caught me off guard, but that was very, very fun as well. And well, I'm already a legendary inspiration. I couldn't just take the limelight with the hero of the city, so I took a step back for that one. I was like,
that's
I'll let anyone
all
else claim it. I'm already a legendary inspiration. I've got that.
Yeah, no one can take that away from you.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, I like the ongoing kidnapping dilemma that's accidentally.
Yeah, and you're right that Reginald is very, very fascinated by this whole thing. Just like,
well,
are they
we
there?
either open it with, he's either an alive and angry wizard, or he's a dead wizard that's bloody annoyed. Either way, that's something that he's dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on my mind. We'll see how that pans out. Maybe when we get so preoccupied with the sprite, it's like we'll end the campaign. It's like, oh, he's definitely dead.
Yep, he has not made it. I can't wait for the reappearance of the naked wizard, who by the time we were getting to the end the whole thing was getting creepy. You guys were all trying to assemble. Let me just assemble a group of people. Let's put them with the naked wizard, and the ghouls being like, what? Anyway.
But as for myself, I'm going to be back here tomorrow with a horror game because I'm going to be checking out The Sinking City, which has just released on GOG this week. Been playing it a bit today. I'm very interested in playing it some more, so hopefully people will check that out tomorrow, right here, same time.
I am very much looking forward to that. Good stuff as always. Thank you, Saber. And again, thank you for Move Out and Dashboard again. And last but certainly not least, Pyron, again, Regina, that was very funny at the end where we had like sprite versus sprite. I was like, you should talk to me. Like, I don't want to be around sprites. Sprites are obnoxious and I don't want to deal with sprites. But there was also the fact that you go over to, I think it was Elena, and Elena's trying to be like, oh yeah, and then this happened. You're like, yeah, whatever. Where's the thing? You're just like, let me push through all of the fluff and all the social nicety and whatever. Where did you get the talisman from, since we have to work this backwards after trying to work it forwards? Regina's directness, it seems to me, played in well here for a lot of this. I am very interested to see how Regina handles the chase that we're going to be seeing next. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Regina's ranged weapon, she's gonna throw a spear. No, but still, like, the thing.
Tell us what we want to know.
It hasn't really come up yet in our adventure so far, but Regina really despises other sprites.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna see about that. Everybody's gonna see me again for Salt March, which I'm already looking forward to a lot. So it's gonna be wonderful as well, because I always enjoy our sessions so much. And I sometimes hang around and chat here on Saber's channel, Mike's channel. It's likely you see me lurking. Well, you don't see me lurking. That's the lurking thing. But I'm around, so we're gonna see each other.
It's good stuff. Chat, can we say thank you to the wonderful, wonderful folks that we're actually getting off to bed at 7:05 p.m. for a change, so not quite as late. To the wonderful folks, and you will see all 3 of these people back next week for Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and then you'll see all 4 of these people back here next month as we are moving into, I don't know how many sessions exactly, 2, maybe 3 at most, but we're closing in on the end, sadly, of the Talisman campaign. But can we get some love for the amazing Pyron J, Darksaber 2K, Peripheral Mike, also known as Wholesome Horror Gaming, and of course, Undeveloped Bruce. Thank you all. Wonderful work, team, and I will see you folks soon. Bye for now.
Thanks so much. Bye, everyone.
See
Good
ya.
night. Bye.
All right. That is going to do it for us today with Talisman Adventures, which was officially a blast. Again, I continue to have a great time with all of the campaigns that I run for different reasons. But the reason I continue to have such a blast with this particular crew is they're just a lot of fun. And I really enjoy the way in which the stuff that the shenanigans, I guess, for want of a better term, that they get up to, regardless of how it is that they actually got there. It is fun to watch. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens because they have made serious progress. This chase will be significant, and we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, it was fun watching them kind of navigate the business of the city while at the same time having to worry about such things as, finding naked wizards in one's room. It's a long story, really is. It takes a while to explain. Anyway, I am going to rise up on out of here. I believe that Kilgore is going to be here in, yes, a little less than 3 hours, so 10 p.m. Eastern. Kilgore will be back with some Jade Empire. I will be back about an hour before that, a little less than 2 hours from now. I will be on my own channel with the Arvocalist, my voice team, and I will be playing a GOG game as well. I'll be playing the Banner Saga 3. We are starting the Banner Saga 3 fully voiced by the Arvocalists. So you will definitely want to make sure that you are available for that. Would love to see any or all of you there. That'll be happening at 9 p.m. Eastern, playing some more of the Banner Saga 3. And then I will be off until Thursday on my own channel when I'll be doing some Dungeons & Dragons with viewers. So you should definitely stop by for that. And then Saturday for Eberron, Oracle of War. As a reminder, a week from this Friday, January 26th, is when I'm going to be doing the live D&D event at the Klein Memorial Auditorium in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If any of you are in the Northeastern United States, this is free to attend. It is going to be happening, the doors open at 5 p.m. The event itself starts at 6 p.m. And it will run for 3 hours, and it'll be my my sequel to my adventure that I ran last year, which was called Night at the Forbidden Library. This is Return to the Forbidden Library, and it will have a cast of 5 live players up on stage in front of an audience, and it's going to be great, and I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. So it's free to attend it. If you want to come by, we would love to see you there, and if not, if you're nowhere near the Northeast United States, we will also be trying to live stream it on my channel as well, so make sure you stop by for that. Again, Friday, January 26th, doors open at 5 p.m. Eastern for a little mini con in the lobby, and then the event itself inside the theater will be starting at 6 p.m., so we're very excited for that. If you like what you saw and heard today, please follow us here on GogCom's Twitch channel. Please subscribe to us here on GogCom's Twitch channel, and please consider, thank you, Miranda, I think so, please consider as well checking out our individual channels because we have our own subsystems and Patreons and stuff like that. I will be on my channel in a couple of hours with the Banner Saga 3 with the Arvocalist, as I said, and then you can stop by here again at 10 p.m. Eastern for Kilgore Trout playing more Jade Empire, and I'll be back next week on this channel for Pen and Pixels episode 408 for D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh. But until then, I'm going to leave off for now. I'll see you folks in a little bit over on my channel, and everyone, please have a lovely day and a lovely evening, and I'll catch all you folks down the line. Until then, everyone, please be good to each other, and have a good night.